so he ordered Uber for me?
Wow.
Yes.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe.
Pay Automotive Repair. Their prices are great. They'll never do a repair on your vehicle that your vehicle doesn't need. Their number is 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101. And what's your name, caller?
My name is Stacy, and thank you very much, Champagne Automotive, and thank you very much, Brian and Steve.
For Champagne Automotive.
That's right.
561-245-8101. 561-245-8101.
Give me a yes or no. Did you watch the State of the Union? I'm curious. Did you watch the State of the Union? And, you know, those of you who are here, a lot of you are in the chat very regularly and have not called. Call me. I'd like to put a voice to some of these names. Yeah, we got a bit of a mix in there. Yeah. It looks evenly divided. Well, I don't know. We have more yeses, I think. All right, it is showtime.
Call us at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
All right.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE-1. And now.
All right, welcome, guys. Yes, yes. 4 minutes after the hour, my name is Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 45 years on the radio this morning, and we are here with you, and, you know, the State of the Union. I would ask you guys some questions about this State of the Union. One, and I want you to call me on these questions, by the way. I'm not just here asking myself questions. Did you watch the State of the Union? Yes or no? And so that, you know. Also, what is your biggest takeaway? You know, State of the Unions, I want you to think about it now. There was a major takeaway from the State of the Union, which I'll get to in a bit, but we have State of the Unions every year. Tell me a significant moment in a State of the Union that you can remember. Think about it. Think about it. A memorable State of the Union. And what was that moment that you remember so well from a past State of the Union? I'm serious about this. Our number 1-888-GO-KANE-1. You know, presidents are required to give a State of the Union, but they're not required to go in person and have a speech on television. They just have to deliver it to the Congress in a written form. That's why whenever you see a president go up there, they hand an envelope to the Speaker of the House and to the Vice President, who's the President of the Senate. That is what they are required to do by the Constitution. This television business of the State of the Union is just a way to get some primetime television time. And the television media hype it up because it's good for ratings. It's an event. They've made an event about it. But I'll tell you this, and I'm thinking about it pretty hard right now. There's only a handful of moments I can remember from State of the Unions. The one with Pelosi tearing up President Trump's speech, which, by the way, may have been a crime because that was an official government document that he handed her. and she destroyed government property. So she may have broken a federal law when she did that. I remember that one. President Reagan, I don't even think it was a State of the Union. He had or maybe it was after Reagan was shot by John Hinckley, and he addressed Congress. It was both houses. Was that a State of the Union, or was that just a special session that they called for him to do it because he had been shot? But State of the Unions are boring. I mean, they're boring. They're big nothing burgers, and nothing comes out of them. Mostly what they are a bunch of empty promises that never come true. Like, for example, last night, Joe Biden, fund the police. Well, I don't know if he... Okay, fund the police. And then he said, we're going to lower inflation, we're going to stop inflation, we're going to lower gas. What is his solution to any of those things? Is he, basically what a State of the Union is, now, again, when we talk about these things, President Trump is the exception to all of this. But what they are a bunch of, a list of things, 99% of which never come true, so that they can get applause and look good on television and get a good day of press. That's the hope. That's the dream. And every year, I dread, except for Trump's, I dread the State of the Unions. I really do. And and just full disclosure, I mean, I probably should even say this. I'm certainly not supposed to say this. This analysis of the State of the Union, do you find that interesting? I'll tell you the biggest takeaway that we have here. A confirmation that the President of the United States is mentally unfit to be President of the Homeowners Association at a condo. Not to mention President of the United States. He called the Ukrainians Iranians. There were some other moments. The only takeaway from this that no one's talking about is he is mentally unfit for office. And Kamala Harris may be committing an impeachable offense, allowing someone who is not mentally with it run the country. But I want you guys to tell me here at the beginning of the show, I don't have that many sound bites from the State of the Union, but I have some that I do want to talk about. But let's see here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 clips from the State of the Union last night that I do want to talk about, and I will play them and talk about them on the program today. But I want to know what you guys think about these things. Okay? Is anyone seriously talking about in the news, since that State of the Union last night, that he should be removed from office because he is mentally unfit? He called the Ukrainians Iranians. Or was it Uranians? I'll play it. We'll get to it. Should we be analyzing these things? Is it something that the media do to kill time? I want to hear your thoughts on the State of the Union as a whole. Our number is 1-888-GO-KANE-1. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm going to go to the calls in a moment. I want to know a couple of things, though. What were those bottles in front of Nancy Pelosi? Has anyone explained that yet? I didn't see that explained. They look like perfume bottles. Maybe it was her witch's brew of evil spells, and maybe she was conjuring the spells when she was rubbing her hands together. Did you see that? It was very strange. What were the bottles that Nancy Pelosi had? Was that her booze that she drank? Was it perfume? Was it a witch's potion? What was the purpose? I'm serious. What was the purpose of those bottles? I've never seen such a thing. It's so weird. And this little thing where she was rubbing her hands together, like she was trying to start fire. What the heck is that all about? What was that? Good morning, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, hold on. There you go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Hi, good morning. I'm Sarah. I'm calling from Maryland.
Sarah in Maryland. What's on your mind?
Oh boy, I tell you, I don't usually watch Biden's shows at all, but I just wanted to tune in to see what he was saying about the state of our country right now. I don't feel he touched on that at all. He didn't talk about our borders. He didn't talk much about the inflation, which, as far as I'm concerned, everything that he was blaming on COVID, he called.
Yeah.
Signs and everything is the reason why we're going through what we're going through.
Yeah. Yeah. He called the Ukrainians Iranians.
Yeah, it's like I said, he must have been pumped up on something.
Well, no, he has some type of age-related cognitive issue, Alzheimer's, something. He's got something, and he's unfit. He's not mentally stable. Hey, listen, I never liked Joe Biden, even when he was in the Senate. He was always a nasty man. Never liked him. Okay, but he's not in control of himself. And Kamala Harris very well could be committing an impeachable offense by allowing someone who's mentally unstable have the nuclear football and command this country and our military forces. That's scary.
Wife that's allowing.
Well, she is committing elder abuse, and I don't know what it's like around the country, but here in Florida, where I'm in Florida, here in Florida we have the oldest population in America, and we have very, very strict laws on elder abuse. It's like hate crime. It's like a hate crime, elder abuse. And Jill Biden, and she's just as corrupt as her scummy husband. I know she looks like a librarian and everything, but she's lived with this guy. She raised Hunter. She's just as corrupt as all of them. She's like a mob wife, Don Corleone's wife knew what was going on. Sonny's wife knew what was going on. Believe me, Jill knows what's going on, And she enjoys it. She doesn't want out like Diane Keaton with Pacino, these are Godfather references if you don't get them, But she's committing elder abuse. And by the way, she's also impersonating a doctor. She implies, I know she's got a PhD or something, she implies that she's a medical doctor.
No. She has a doctorate in some kind of education, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, and you know where she went to the college that she went to in Delaware, she did it when Joe was vice president, and she did her dissertation and all of that, was at a school that was named after Joe Biden.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
And what was it with the stupid smile on Harris's face the whole time? It didn't even look like her to me.
Yeah, I know. Do you know what was in those glass bottles that Pelosi had? Were they her empty liquor bottles? What I'm serious. Did you see them?
Oh, yeah, but it kept her smiling.
Those bottles, they looked empty, and I don't know, were they scotch? What? And I'm not joking about this. What was the deal with the bottles?
I have no idea. But one thing that he said that really ticked me off was that it was because of COVID that we're having this inflation. I was like,
no, it's because of him. It's because of him. Yeah, we're having mass inflation because he shut down oil production and cut the pipelines, and the drilling in Anwar.
Russia for more oil when he could have kept ours open.
Yeah, but see, when you're a millionaire many times over with money you didn't earn that you did through your corruption, through your crime, and this inflation that you and I deal with, it's not a factor for him. They don't care. It's peanuts to them. It's not a significant increase. They don't care.
Well, in my opinion, this that's going on from my research in Ukraine is all because of
Biden. Yeah, there's no doubt.
His other cohort people that worked with him over in Ukraine.
Well, we were talking on the show yesterday. George Soros came out and backed Ukraine yesterday. We were talking about this, and anything George Soros is in favor of, you got to be against. I mean, he's a very bad, evil man, George Soros, and if he's interested, if he's on the Ukraine side of things, well, that's pretty frightening.
Well, yeah, and all you have to do is look at who's on the Ukraine side, and who's against Russia.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to wonder what the depth of this is. And from what I'm hearing, there's a whole lot of mess going on there that has to do with our government.
That's right. That's right. Well, hey, listen, thanks for the call. I appreciate it.
Now, I think Putin is going to expose it all, and he's going to be made to look out.
Well, what they're doing is what Biden is doing is trying to get the powers that be, the wealthy people, those oligarchs in Russia we're always talking about. He's trying to get them to remove Putin, to overthrow him. He wants Putin overthrown, and that's what Biden is doing. But who would replace him? And what maybe they're worse.
Well, maybe.
What they're doing with what Biden is doing is an attempt at regime change in Russia.
Yeah. Well, from what I understand, they helped place the one that's in there now.
Putin? Oh, you mean Zelensky? Oh, yeah, Zelensky, yes, yeah. Zelensky, yeah.
And from what I understand, it was an illegal election.
Everything's illegal in Ukraine. It's corrupt. Hey, listen, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. It's Sherry from Texas.
Sherry in Texas. What's up?
Hey, watching the State of the Union last night, what really caught my eye were the Democrats on the floor, and the camera would catch the expressions of many out there of concern. You could see distrust on their faces, major concern, confusion as Biden was speaking. Many times Pelosi, you could hear her speaking behind Biden, trying to get Kamala Harris's attention, and the wringing of Pelosi's hands, where she's got them clenched and she's rubbing them together.
She looked insane.
It was almost like, I'm trying to think of that Disney movie, almost a concoction, she just had this...
Hocus Pocus.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, you nailed it. And the whole State of the Union, watching it, I had to turn it off toward the end. Speaking of, I guess it was the no-fly zone. We're going to stop all planes going across.
Yeah, how's he going to do that? Is he going to shoot down Russian aircraft? What are they going to do?
But, yeah, I'm thinking to myself, how are you going to do that? And second of all, you're talking about the economy and all. Open up the pipeline, dude. Let's.
Let me tell you, the idea that Russia is some type of concern or threat is absurd. Their army just got their butts whipped here by Ukraine. They have not had, the Russian army has not had in a week of this invasion of Ukraine. They've not had a single military objective accomplished. Their supply lines have collapsed. The Russian army is a joke, quite frankly.
They're puncturing the Russians are puncturing their gas tanks because they don't want to go in and they don't want to fight.
Yeah, there have been Russian soldiers that really have deserted through surrendering. They've been surrendering because they don't want to fight. Fighting Ukraine would be like us fighting, New Jersey or something,
It's a shame. Listening to the State of the Union last night was terrifying.
Do you have any idea what those bottles of Pelosi's were? I know we're all saying booze, because it's funny, but she had a purpose.
Bottles.
They were...
Those look like decorative bottles.
Decorative bottles?
Yeah, the bottles that were sitting there, you almost have to ask yourself, Trump never had anything like that standing out there.
Well, that's Pelosi. That was on Pelosi's little desk there. They look like either expensive perfume bottles, liquor bottles, or perhaps, with your Hocus Pocus reference, a witch's brew, something for a spell. She's all in the symbolism, like wearing the white, last time and all that stuff. There was a reason for the bottles. I just haven't heard it explained.
I don't think anybody will have an answer to it.
She had a reason why.
Oh, there's definitely a reason why. The most concerning thing about this speech, the State of the Union, is there was no to show the American people everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
America's going to stand strong. You know, we're going to get through this. There was none of that. It was almost like it's not even clicking. The American people are in fear.
Mm-hmm.
An outcome here. Okay, what's going to happen? Yeah, Russia's invading Ukraine. What about China and Taiwan?
Yeah, they're next. It's next.
What about Russia telling Sweden and Finland, you attempt anything and I'm going to invade you? Well, look, Putin, maybe it's time you get your legs cut out. And it's so weak, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm on the table with this man that's running our country.
We had 3 years left. 3 years.
And this country has a reason to have fear.
Well, it's the problem with the State of the Union isn't a partisan thing. You know, he's a Democrat, and we don't support Democrat things, but he's not with it. His mind is just gone. Probably his dementia that he has is probably brought on by a lifetime of drinking. Yeah.
Rampant of his kids and what have you had nothing to do with what's going on.
Well, and Joe Biden is in a constant state of grief over the loss of his son Beau, which, I feel sorry for him with that. But, as he mentions Beau Biden in every speech, he's never gotten over it, and he's in a constant state of grief. He's mentally unfit between that and the cognitive decline to run anything.
It's just the whole scenario is very sad, and I carry fear right now.
Well, it's scary. I mean, who's running things? If we had like say for example, this was Ronald Reagan. George Bush, I got a lot of problems with George Bush, but he was a competent person. This guy has Kamala Harris. She's a complete idiot. I got a clip of her that is as frightening as the State of the Union. I mean, that's why, the takeaway from the State of the Union is he's cognitively far worse than we believe. And that look on the faces of the Democrats, I think they're constantly in fear that he's going to have some type of mental break and forget where he's at and say, Jill, where am I? What am I doing here? I think the Democrats are always afraid of that moment happening.
God's faces last night when he was speaking, the looks were like, what is he talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Where's he going with this? That is what got my attention.
Yeah, and I'll tell you I got up early today because I wanted to watch. I can't stay up for the analysis because how early I get up in the morning to be here, but I got up early so I could watch some of the analysis. I can't sit here and talk about Biden's immigration policy or his failure with his crime initiative. He is mentally unfit. He has Alzheimer's or some other cognitive problem. He is unfit, and we've got this idiot vice president who's allowing this to continue. And that's the issue here. We're not talking about, border policy here.
Yeah, none of that was mentioned. Absolutely.
And I believe the withdrawal of Afghanistan happened the way it did because he had a mental break and he had to show everyone that he's got his wits about him, and he ordered an immediate withdrawal in an unorganized way. They got a lot of people killed, Americans and Afghans, and we have American hostages still behind because of his cognitive decline that happened.
Behind the curtain.
No, that was him. President Trump with the pen. Listen, General Milli Vanilli is all these things. But they had a proper plan of withdrawal from Afghanistan, but he had a cognitive fit, and a guy like that, they have to show everybody they've got their wits about them. And he said, "Get out now, out, leave everything behind." And look what he did. He gave them an army, an air force, latest weapon technology. They even got new uniforms over there, and
their move.
That's right, and that was because of his cognitive decline. All right, thanks for the call. It's a scary day.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, thank you. Good morning, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. How are you doing today?
Hey, Wisconsin Gary, what's up?
Boy, what a train wreck that was last night. I don't think you can even have any worse a train wreck than what's ever in Washington right now.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention it's last night when you're sitting there watching them talk, because, yeah, believe it or not, I stomached through it, but you got Harris is sitting there. I don't know if anybody didn't notice, but she was constantly looking like straight at the camera herself quite a few times last night. I don't know what that was about, but, I mean, a lot of the things that he didn't talk about were, one, you know, the convoy that was coming up to D.C., literally everything that he mentioned was pretty much a lie. You know, it's like, it's just a complete derailment of this whole administration that's ever since then.
Well, I think that look on Kamala's face is like I was telling the last caller with the Congress people. They know he's much worse than we know, and they see him in his worst moments, and Kamala and the others are in constant fear when there's a live televised event, especially one that's prolonged like that he's going to have a mental break, like they've seen him have in private, and it'll be on television. That's why they look that way. They're terrified.
Yeah, a lot of them should be terrified because, I mean, look what they've done to the country and how many of the Democrats are retiring because they know they're going to lose big in 22, and they're scared of their own political party right now.
That's right.
Kills completely them and wipes them completely out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of the things that in just disgrace of what he has said is just, there was a lot of people that, because I was listening kind of on with another group, and none of them were saying anything good. Not any of them. They're all mad because the way the economy has gone, the fuel cost is at. I mean, diesel fuel is over, I think, at $4.41 a gallon. Some places, the unleaded gasoline, and so far where I've been at, is like $3.45. A couple of years ago, when Trump was in office, it was never remotely that.
I feel, you know, on Inauguration Day, I went up to Mar-a-Lago to see President Trump, and he was still president. I was one of the last people to see him before the inauguration of Biden, and I filled up my car, and it was like $1.58, $1.59 a gallon.
Brian, I remember that day when you were there because I was watching your live feed, and luckily you must have had just enough battery or you were really down to the end, but you were as sad as half the U.S. or three-quarters of the U.S. to see that president leave out of office.
Yeah, and you know, I went, this is on my YouTube channel, I was 5 feet away from President Trump, his last minutes of his first term, and after he was gone, I went over to the airport and I saw Air Force One leave without President Trump, and I mean, I saw grown men crying at that, you know, veterans, you know, and we didn't know how bad it would get. But the takeaway from that State of the Union last night is he's mentally unfit. We've got someone who is. I would rather have someone who was mentally fit and a drunk than someone that's that far cognitively gone.
Yeah, I mean,
she's an alcoholic. She's an alcoholic. There's no question.
Not too long ago, she did an interview where all of a sudden she had, Shauna brought this up, where she had all this makeup on, and last night she looked like that, she should have just had the Joker face, markings on her face, because that's about what she looks like.
She looked like a lunatic between the rubbing her hands together and those 3 bottles.
Not to mention all the butt kissers that were there afterwards, Maxine Water, Nancy Pelosi. I mean, it's like they couldn't, you know, get close enough to him and thanking him, but they know, well, they're probably...
Yeah, they're Democrats.
They're Democrats, and they... Oh, my...
Well, I'll tell you, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert, I loved what they did. They turned their back on the cabinet when they came in and wouldn't look at them. I like that. If I were in Congress, I would not have been there last night.
Well, when they actually afterwards, they had the Iowa governor on there. You know, that was very interesting what she all said and everything. Of course, I was kind of wondering why she was looking sharply to her right for some odd reason. I don't know if some was coming in or whatever, but her speech last night, too, was a very amazing speech. governors in this United States that are really upset at how everything is going.
Mm-hmm.
State governors got to do what they can to balance out their state, even though the food chain supply is outlandish with everything, because it's just starting to be missing food and everything else, all the other necessities. But under Trump, we never had that problem.
Even during the lockdowns and shutdowns, there was a quick panic buy the first couple weeks. 2 weeks into the pandemic, everything was fine, and now we're looking like Venezuela. All right, Gary, I got to run, but thanks for the call.
Take care, Brian.
All right, take care. 33 minutes after the hour, we'll take our break here for the bottom of the hour. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977, The Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631.
Attention seniors and those who care about
K-Dogzilla, $2 super chat. Please thank K-Dogzilla for that $2 super chat. The bottles he's talking about of Pelosi's, it's for quill pens, I think. Oh my goodness.
Brian, over the
yeah,
years,
she's old enough to have been around in those days. Steve Kane Show.
Advocacy, that a lot of people don't have
Hold on.
a child or a spouse that can assist them with their medical needs, and that's where we step in.
There's a lot of things that seniors need help with. Prescriptions, doctor's appointments, things like this. How do you help them with that?
If you're having a problem at the doctor's office, having problems scheduling an appointment in a timely manner,
if you're new here, make sure you subscribe, and everyone please like the video and click that notification bell. That helps me out a lot.
Contact us and we will step in. Even if you're at the hospital and you feel like you're being neglected, we'll be there for you at a touch of a button, whether it's to call the nurse's station or assist in any other way.
So if someone's in the hospital, they feel they're not getting the care that they need, they haven't seen their doctor, they haven't seen their nurse, they can actually call you and you'll contact the hospital for them?
Absolutely. We act as your family. We'll step up, we'll call the nurse's station and ask for some assistance. If we can't get anything done there, we'll go to the higher levels.
Now, this is a service that you're offering. Now, they do not have to be an existing client of I Will Advisors to take advantage of this, right?
Oh, of course not. No, we're here for any Medicare.
200 years old.
In any way.
Do you know, at the age of 200, if Nancy Pelosi had $1 million for every year she is old, 200, it still wouldn't equal her net worth.
You'll set up doctor's appointments for them, including the primary care physician.
And you gotta ask her, what business is she in, where she made all that money?
They'll help you with your medical billing.
She's a Highlander.
If you feel you've been billed wrong by your doctor, they'll step in.
There can be only one.
And even help you.
I love that movie, Highlander. I like the Highlander TV series too. Not a lot of people like that, but
service to senior citizens.
That's exactly it.
That's amazing. I've never heard of anything like this before. So how much does this cost?
Well, for just $20 a month, you will have the security of knowing that you have an experienced, compassionate advocate just a touch of a button away.
To learn more, call Debbie's office. The number, 954-345-1214. 954-345-1214, or go online. You can sign up online at
that movie's got a great soundtrack by Queen.
That's iwilladvocates.com.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of...
I wish they would reboot that and do a really good movie. Highlander 2, The Quickening's awful. I've never watched The Witcher. Duncan MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWN.
Alrighty, 36 minutes after the hour. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977. Welcome back, one and all. We're talking about the takeaway from the State of the Union last night, and it's just simply one. Joe Biden's unfit to be president of the United States. I'm taking your calls at 1-888-GO-KANE-1. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning.
Oh, hey, Richie.
I watched it last night. It reminded me of The Wizard of Oz, that Dorothy was living in a dream. I mean, this guy got up there, and that was the test that we were looking for, the cognitive test.
Yeah.
Because obviously reality hasn't hit this guy, and I'm watching all these people out there, these Democrats, having a good old whooping time, and I love when the two things I took out of this. You remember Howard Dean revving up and screaming, "Yeah!" Well,
yes.
His speech, at the end of his speech, he started with that rev up deal, and then he says, "Go get up!"
Yeah, which is who? Is he talking about taking out Putin? That go get him. It could only be Putin.
Like more like get the Gipper, like he's a football coach.
Oh, do it for the Gipper or George Zip? Does anyone know George Zip?
This guy.
Anyone remember George Zip? Who's George Zip?
And I love Marjorie Taylor Greene when she yelled out 13 soldiers. That she was the one that yelled that out. You know.
Was that? I think that was Marjorie Taylor Greene or Boebert?
No, it was Marjorie Taylor Greene.
I've got that clip. That was Boebert that yelled out the 13. I'm pretty sure. I got the clip of it. I'm going to play it later. But did you see they got booed? You know, I'll tell you something. This is an interesting thing. Well, let me play it. If you're on hold, stand by. This is the one that Richie's talking about.
These burn pits that incinerate waste, the waste of war, medical and hazardous material, jet fuel, and so much more. And they come home. Many of the world's fittest and best trained warriors in the world. Never the same. Headaches, numbness, dizziness. A cancer that would put them in a flag-draped coffin. I know. One of those.
Okay.
One of the.
Yeah.
Soldiers was my son, Major Bo Biden.
Yeah. See, he's in green, but no, that was Lauren Boebert. And you heard that, ooh, boo, boo. Who the hell would boo remembering 13 young men and women who were killed in our military? You know, remembering them. But now, it's still early in the morning, but there was a similar... Well, hold on, Richie. There was a similar moment. You'll remember when Obama's State of the Union and the one guy yelled out, "You lie," and they censured him. He was punished. And I haven't heard calls to punish Lauren Boebert over that yet. Have you?
I sort of feel sorry for what was aggravating was the contrast between Nancy Pelosi's face throughout that whole speech and when Trump was speaking. She looked like an angry witch 2 years ago with Trump. And one of Trump's greatest things was when he gave the golden medal to what's his name, the talk show host. My mind.
Rush Limbaugh.
That was. There's nobody could beat Trump as being the showman, and at least you will, that to me. And then this guy last night, what is he going to say, Brian? I had 1 year in office and I've screwed everything up, and I'm going to screw up.
Well, what I would have done, and I don't know if I talked about this. I talk so much I forget. I don't know if I talked about this on my podcast or on the radio yesterday. But what I had a suggestion for this was before the State of the Union. What I would have done, how the First Lady always has guests, she had some critical race theorist up there, but what I would have done, my special guest would have been via satellite Zelensky. We stand, and if I were Biden, we stand with Ukraine, do his thing, and then shock everyone and have on a screen joining them live from Ukraine, Zelensky. And that would have been a very dramatic moment, and it would have, and he would have very positive press today. But these people running the country are idiots. They don't think like Trump.
The Iranian people are getting slaughtered as we speak.
Yeah.
I listened afterwards. I was listening to Dan Ball. On OAN.
Mm-hmm.
He called it a BS speech, and he used that language on cable.
Well, this is the thing. Well, he can say it on cable. Here's the thing. I can't say it here. All State of the Unions, except those of President Trump, are all BS. They're all meaningless. They mean nothing. They go nowhere. Nothing is said. Nothing is done. It's empty promises. But this guy last night called the Ukrainians Iranians, and he's totally the freak checked out. He is mentally unfit.
This is the worst this country's been since I've been alive. So how's he has going to put a spin on that I'm doing a great job. My rating is 37% amongst Democratic...
Bill Clinton came out and did a State of the Union during the Lewinsky matter. Presidents have come out and I'm assuming Richard Nixon came out during his period and did State of the Union still. Jimmy Carter too.
You want some more? I'll give you some right away. You know about China? Not about China. About the Asian oil market. What happened?
What happened?
It went up $5 because they couldn't get it, which means as we speak, the gas pumps, the prices are rising today. They're going to go up significantly. I mean, it's up to 107 or something about.
Yeah, and that's why, you know, when at the end of the show every day we check in with William Youngerman with the gold report, and gold, silver, and platinum, in particular gold and silver, you load up on them. Great hedge for inflation, and when oil prices are going up, that's when you see the metals rise historically as well. All right, Richie, last word. All right, take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, this is Sandra from Indiana.
Hey, Sandra in Indiana, what's up?
The reason why no one that is close to Joe Biden has come forward publicly to say he needs to be impeached is because they will be called treasonous and domestic terrorists and put in jail just like the January 6th.
Really, even a Democrat?
Yes. Because they will be going against their own party.
This State of the Union, everyone, I was so disgusted by the analysis. I got up especially early to hear the analysis, and they're debating policy, masks, immigration, pipelines. The only thing from this State of the Union is he is unfit cognitively to do anything. He can't, to do anything. And he is not just running this country, he's running this. There are times when the country almost runs on automatic pilot in times of peace and prosperity. We have an economic collapse going on, and we are on the verge of what could be a third world war. And he is cognitively unfit, especially in this kind of time. And he needs to resign or be removed from office by the vice president and the cabinet. And I don't like any of the cabinet. That includes Buttigieg is in the cabinet. I don't like Kamala Harris, but at least they're liberal and radical and stupid, but at least their minds are with it.
Well, what gets me is they had all these rules of COVID. Drop the mask, but you have to be tested, but then you have to be social distance. Then you sit in every other seat. But everybody was in their hugs.
Yeah.
Shaking each other's hands. Not social distancing. So it's a bunch of help.
Yeah.
This man starts the speech off about COVID.
All right. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Have a great day. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. How are you doing? This is Will.
Hey, Will.
Calling from Illinois.
Will in Illinois. All right.
How you doing? Yeah, I saw the State of the Union address. I only watched part of it. And not one time did Biden mention, well, he might have sugarcoated it a little bit, about the gas prices. I drive a diesel, right? And I spent 130 gallons. I spent $560 on 130 gallons of diesel.
Jeez.
Outrageous.
Jeez.
Nancy Pelosi in the background too as well. I saw that. She was just, it seemed fake. She seemed so fake. She was just like a bobblehead. She
seems crazed. She seems crazed. I mean, the rubbing the fists together and she's making these weird facial expressions. She looks insane. Do you know what Pelosi's bottles were about?
I could just imagine there was probably some type of booze, some type of alcohol. She might have hit the hotel room and downed a couple, and then got there at the State of the Union, and she looked out of it, man. She was gone.
Yeah.
She's drunk.
Oh no, she's certainly an alcoholic. There's no doubt about it. She's an alcoholic.
As Americans, we have to vote this incompetence.
What is America? Okay, we're 1 year in. What is this country going to be like in 3 years?
Too, as well, about nobody talks about COVID anymore.
Well, because the poll numbers are bad on it for them, so they're moving on to other things.
Right. And I mean, and it's crazy how the liberals, they're pushing this war on Ukraine. It's good for the ratings, but people are dying over there.
They don't care.
Young kids, babies. I mean, it makes us look at our country too as well, and makes us say, hey, well, you know, we've got to secure our southern border. We've got to get that under control before we can else, because fentanyl is coming.
I mean, listen here. You know, the prescription drug crisis is back. It was eradicated by President Trump with his border policies, and now fentanyl I'm seeing in the news constantly. Hey, listen, I got to run for our last break of the hour, but thanks for the call from Illinois, land of Lincoln. And I got to tell everyone about the Thomas Edison of sleep, the inventor of the MyPillow, Mike Lindell. And, you know, when I go through some specials, you know, these specials, you know, one of the specials ended. You know, so when I talk about these specials at MyPillow.com with the promo code Kane, you need to take advantage of them while I'm telling you about them, because they disappear without notice. Did you know that there are pet stores? Pet stores! The canceling of Mike Lindell, right? You've heard about the retail stores not carrying MyPillow products. You've heard about the bank cancellations. You've heard about the home shopping channels canceling Mike Lindell. Did you know that there were pet stores, even online pet stores, that will not even carry the MyPillow pet beds any longer? Can you freaking believe this? You know, I have 2 MyPillow pet beds. My dog, my cat, they love them. Inside the MyPillow pet bed is that same patented fill that's in the MyPillows. It's so comfortable. When we got the first one in the mail, I opened it up, put it on the floor, and I laid down on it. I did not let my wife take a picture to post online, because that wouldn't be, you know, me laying on the dog bed. But I wanted to feel what it was like. It's so comfortable. And I'll tell you, you know, dog beds, very important pet beds in my family because we have pets. And I've always had pets. We've had every type of pet bed you can imagine. None of them, other than the MyPillow pet bed, are any good. The other ones, they typically have foam inside, and they have a cover. You can't wash the foam. You can wash the cover. And even though you got your cover washed, that foam underneath has everything that the dogs and the cats have, right? They pee on it. They bring in dander and all kinds of who knows what from outside. And when you put those covers on, they never fit right. And you end up throwing them away. The MyPillow pet bed, you wash the entire thing and dry it, and it's like new every single time. And with our promo code Kane at checkout at MyPillow.com, K-A-N-E, the MyPillow pet beds, 50% off. 50% off, as low as $19.99. That's a great deal. 50% off. They come in multiple colors, and they're reversible too. They have a different pattern on each side, and they're beautiful. 50% off the MyPillow pet beds with the promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, as low as $19.99. Stand with Mike Lindell against this cancel culture, and at the same time, support this program. Use our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, for incredible savings. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879.
You covered AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network, WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Brian Craig here. Conservative Doug called me up live on the air.
Good morning, everyone. If you're just joining us, if you're new here, please subscribe. And everyone, please like the video and click the notification bell. And for those that don't know, you know, my weekend live streams that I do from my home studio, you got to check those out. I take live calls on those as well.
Which nobody, the tires I've been looking at, had any mileage guarantee. That is a 60,000 mile warranty. So they're not only half the price, the price is good.
So you're a repeat customer over there at Friendly Tire. You bought new tires, right? So you bought new tires, because they also sell used tires, starting at just $30 for most sizes. But you bought new tires, and they were half the price at Friendly Tire than at the other tire shops around town. That is phenomenal, and came with a 60,000 mile warranty on the tires. That's great. And of course, Friendly Tire, they never charge you to mount the tire, balance the tire, or dispose of your old tires. The price that they give you are out.
Yeah, Pelosi had, it looked like a liquor setup. She had the 3 bottles, and then there was like this bigger round canister behind her. I'm looking at it. That looks like where you put the ice.
number, 954-977-9445. He'll give you a quote right over the phone, 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net, or you can just stop right in. The address is listed at stevekaneshow.com. 5415 Northwest 15th Street in Margate, and that's just a little north of Coconut Creek Parkway on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Well, Conservative Doug, thanks so much, and I'm glad you got
Steve Kane Show
on your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate.
Hold on.
Dr. Matez here from the
Steve Kane Show. Hold on.
West Delray. Many of you are familiar with the famous erection injection, an extremely effective treatment for erectile
Steve Kane Show.
dysfunction made popular right
Hold
here
on.
on the Steve Kane Show. I'm here to tell you that the erection injection is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the extensive array of treatment.
Jack, $10 super chat. Please thank Jack for that. Thank you, Jack. Maybe the bottles were in case Pelosi's teeth fell out again. Yeah, that didn't think about that one. That is true.
For treatments that can correct the problem at its source, such as PRP and sound wave pulse therapies that restore your natural function. State-of-the-art testing and the most current treatment options all available in one place. The
All right, we're coming back.
If you want to correct your erectile problems once and for all, call us at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
All right, 7 before 7. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. We are back. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brad, Southwest Florida.
All right, Southwest Florida. Brad, how you doing? Gulf Coast, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I actually know what was on Pelosi's desk, so I figured I'd tell you.
Okay.
I looked it up. It's the inkstand considered to be the oldest surviving artifact of the House of Representatives dating back to the early 1800s. Pelosi had it in front of her President Biden's first State of the Union. So I guess it was like a historical...
It's the thing for the quill pens.
Right, that's exactly what it is. So it's...
And why did she bring that out all of a sudden?
It doesn't say why. I just found an article that explained what it was on her desk, because a lot of people are asking that question.
So she took a very delicate piece of American history and risked it and put it out there for some purpose we don't know. Okay.
In the 1800s, yep.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, maybe she was there when they were used, her and Biden. That's when they first came to Washington.
That's possible.
Yeah. So maybe it just brings back memories for the two of them. All right.
On that speech last night, so I don't even know what to say.
Yeah.
Or I think that was just a show for the few people that they actually have in their little corner, which I don't even know how.
Well, you know what I wonder. I'm going to look into this quill pen thing. I wonder how many racist bills and things were written and signed from ink in those things.
Who's that?
Yeah, because they're all into the judging the past by today's standards. I would imagine there were some slave things and segregation things and other terrible things that were written. Yeah, exactly. There had to be all kinds of racist things come out of those bottles, the ink that was in those bottles. Got to cancel them.
It's a ridiculous time we live in. I don't understand. We buy our oil from Russia, yet we want to, their quote unquote enemy. That we want to go ahead and fund them with.
If we go to war, these people are so screwed up. If we went to war with Russia, which I don't think we are, but if we went to war with Russia, we'd still probably be buying their oil.
We're funding both sides of the war.
Yes. That makes perfect sense. If it makes perfect sense if you're a corrupt Democrat.
Yes, if you're a corrupt Democrat. I'm just looking at it, mathematically. I'm like, well, you don't burn the candle at both ends.
So you're in Southwest Florida. You're on the Gulf Coast of Florida. I'm on the East Coast of Florida. How'd you find us? Where are you listening to us at?
I listen to you all the time. You might the name pops up every once in a while. It's the Insanity Bolt.
Well, are you watching on YouTube?
Yes, I do watch on YouTube.
You're watching on YouTube, okay, on the Gulf Coast of Florida. All right, hey, listen, thanks for the call.
Thank you.
You too. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
You're watching on YouTube. Okay, on the go.
All right. Yeah, you got to turn the volume down of whatever device you're listening to me on in the background. There's a delay. Hi there. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Elise, I'm calling from West Palm.
West Palm. Hey, what's going on?
Nothing. I just quoted in the chat, Air Force One is always parked at West Palm Beach Airport.
Not anymore. It's not there. I used to go down there when Trump was in office. I used to go there all the time to see it. Just go there all the time.
Oh, but I literally pass it every day on my way to work.
It is not there anymore. That's another plane. I wish it was.
Another plane? What plane is it?
I don't know. Well, there's a lot of planes at the Palm Beach International Airport, but sadly, Air Force One, it'll be back. When Trump is reelected in 2024, Air Force, it was really cool. I used to go to the Palm Beach Airport pretty regularly just to see Air Force One, and you could get pretty close to it. They would surround it by with school buses, and then they had like this moat of a canal, and then you could go there, and it was pretty cool. I used to go there all the time to see Air Force One. Yeah.
People that tell me it's still there.
No, it's not there.
It's not there anymore.
No, it's not there. In fact, I saw it leave. I saw it leave without President Trump. It left without him, on Inauguration Day. Immediately after Biden was sworn in, Air Force One took off without President Trump.
Really?
Yeah. It was sad.
Very sad, because I used to see it all the time, but I still see people that say they see it.
They're either lying or hallucinating. I miss it. President Trump on Marine One used to fly over my house all the time, and well, I'm in Palm Beach County too, and Marine One would fly over my house all the time with the escort gunships and everything. It was I miss it.
Fly on now.
He flies. He has his own little Air Force. He doesn't. I have not seen him use the famous Trump Force One with his name on the side. He uses a small.
That I'm talking about.
He doesn't use that. If you see him fly around, he flies around in another plane that he has, which is smaller and white, and it's smaller. And I hear some in the media, he's got the smaller private jet that he owns. There's that smaller private jet is the fastest private jet that a civilian can own in the United States, so it's top of the line. But because I believe the security threat from Iran, remember he took out that Iranian general. I don't think they let him fly in the plane that has his name on the side. I think he uses the white unmarked plane for security reasons.
He'll take off from West Palm, or there's that other.
I don't know if I should be getting into all that stuff on the air. Okay? All right, take care. Yeah. I remember there was one day that I went up to, President Trump was at Mar-a-Lago. It was New Year's Day. He was still president a couple years back. And I got up. It was a cold day, too. I got up to go see Air Force One, and I was live streaming on YouTube. I was going to show everyone Air Force One, and it was gone. And what I later learned, it was when President Trump took out the Iranian general, and they threatened him, and they obviously flew. It was a couple years ago on New Year's Day. Some of you may have been watching. I was driving all around that airport looking for Air Force One. I thought, well, maybe they moved it somewhere else, and then I realized what had happened. All right, listen, if you're on hold, stand by. 1 hour down, but we've got 2 to go. We'll take our break and be back with more of your calls after this.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Hi, I'm Dr. Janae Lomaski. In my practice,
Mark, $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Mark. Everyone, please thank Mark for that super chat.
Major reason for this is COVID-19.
Freedom Soup, good morning.
COVID-19 has become a recent staple in our lives.
Steve Kane Show.
Steve Kane tested positive for COVID.
Steve Kane Show. Hold on.
For 3 weeks. His fears went through his new roof. Are you ruminating about getting COVID? Maybe it's so bad you're having panic attacks about it. If you have COVID worries, and fear the worst. You don't have to. There are many, many people that are recovering from COVID every day. There are so many mental practices you can do to get through this difficult time and move on. If you are experiencing any difficulties, call me, 561-777-2021. That's 561-777-2021. Or email me at drjlomaski@gmail.com. You can also join me live every Saturday at 11 a.m. as your psychological source. Be careful, not fearful. You don't have to do this alone.
Hi, Tom Laporta here from Laporta.
If you've never called before or have not called in a while, give me a call.
The 2021 hurricane season. Now it's time to get your building envelope ready for the next
Some great callers today.
Contracting installs all
People I'm not used to talking to. Of course, conservative Doug is on hold, but you know.
And slate tile systems. Our building restoration offers complete envelope protection.
You know, I saw something scary. Any Tears for Fears fans in the audience? Give me a yes or a no. Anybody fans of Tears for Fears? They're back together, and I saw an interview with them. Oh my goodness. You want to feel old, go look at Tears for Fears today. Yeah, they're going on tour. They got a new album. You've never heard? Yeah, you've heard. Shout, shout, let it all out. You've heard of them.
For listening to the Steve Kane Show.
I'm not going to sing it because, you know, it'll clear out the entire chat.
With the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing, avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables.
I know, it's really depressing.
1-855-FLA-3782.
Age gracefully? I don't know. They're not recognizable.
Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free, dial 1-888-COCAINE 1. That's 1-888-COCAINE.
All right, guys, welcome back. Hour number 2 has begun. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Hour number 2 has begun. We're talking, of course, about the State of the Union and the state of cognitive decline that Biden is obviously suffering from. He called the Ukrainians Iranians last night. During the break, I was talking to everyone in the chat room. I asked if there were any Tears for Fears fans. Everyone loves Tears for Fears. They got some great songs, some great hits, and they got a new album out. They have reunited. They broke up like 100 years ago, and everybody knows Tears for Fears. And you would not even recognize these guys. They look like so old. Oh my goodness. It's really depressing seeing how old Tears for Fears are. And they're not that much older than I am. One of them, I don't know the two guys' names, but the one guy looks like Doc Brown from Back to the Future today. Not during '85. I mean, it was pretty scary. And they're going on tour, Tears for Fears. I'd love to go see them in concert. But you know what they need? You know what Tears for Fears need before they start this tour they're on? Dr. Mitch Matez at the Bio Station. He's our anti-aging doctor. And if Tears for Fears took advantage of the no-charge consultation that listeners of the Steve Kane Show receive, and they went and met with Dr. Matez and talked to him about hormone replacement pellet therapy, their tour would be much better and much easier on them. They were talking about how old they feel and everything else. They're not that old, much older than I am. And hormone replacement pellet therapy would restore their energy level. You will feel younger. Your cognitive decline that you go through as you grow older, that is also reversed. Your sex drive is, reestablished. Your ability to have sex is returned to you. Women, the signs and symptoms of menopause. Oh man, completely 100% reversed. Night sweat's gone. Mood swings gone. If you're suffering from hair loss, hormone replacement pellet therapy will stop hair loss in its tracks. The hair you have left will grow back thicker. It will grow back fuller and you will feel like a new man or a new woman. It will take years. I've been a patient of Dr. Matez for, it'll be 7 years this year. That's right, long time. And it's a completely free consultation, no matter where you are, not just South Florida. If you're out of town, you call Dr. Mitch Matez at the biostation as well and talk to him about hormone replacement pellet therapy. Now listen, when you call, make sure you tell him you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show, because only Steve Kane listeners get to take advantage of that no-charge consultation. Here's the number, 561-953-5490. 561-953-5490. Dr. Mitch Matez at the biostation. Yes, I am 65 years old. Look at this, 65. That's right. Do I look 65? Not there yet. Getting there, though. I'm closer to that than some other years, that's for sure. All right, welcome back. So we're talking about the State of the Union, and the State of the Union is we're in big trouble, people. We are in big trouble. I'm going to play some of the clips. This is not the State of the Union. This is Kamala Harris. I'm going to play this clip of Kamala Harris. And this is going to scare the hell out of you. Because last night, when Biden's calling Ukrainians Iranians, and his cognitive decline in the last 13 months is just, and it's not going to get better. It's only going to get worse. And the person that's a heartbeat away from the presidency is Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris did an interview with a black radio station, and one of those morning zoo types, and they asked her to explain what's going on in Ukraine with Russia. Her explanation is out of romper room, and I'm not exaggerating. Listen to this.
Break it down in layman's terms for people who don't understand what's going on and how can this directly affect the people of the United States.
So Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia. Russia is a bigger country. Russia is a powerful country. Russia decided to invade a smaller country called Ukraine. So basically that's wrong.
Okay. Now this romper room explanation, let me tell you why that's insanely frightening. That's how she gets briefed. When this started happening in Ukraine, she is just regurgitating what she was briefed on and how she was briefed on it. Now, Kamala, Ukraine is in Europe. It was invaded by Russia, which is a bigger country. That's how dumb she is. You know, there was Vin Diesel. Any of you guys fans of Vin Diesel and Fast and Furious? What is the name of the actor from Fast and the Furious who was killed in the tragic car accident? I'd forgotten his name offhand. Oh boy, I cannot remember his name. I'm very bad with names. I forget my own name if it wasn't mine, but you know what I'm talking about. So when he died, it's Paul something, but Paul Walker. Thank you very much, Paul Walker. Someone in the chat room told me Paul Walker. When Paul Walker died, it was pretty shocking. And thank you very much, Rich Allen from down the hallway, Paul Walker. I was watching Entertainment Tonight after Paul Walker died, and they had some film of Vin Diesel getting out of his car somewhere in Los Angeles, and there were a bunch of fans there, and he started talking about Paul Walker to the fans really loud, like on a PA system, and he said word for word something that he had it was one of his lines from the Fast and Furious movies. It wasn't even his own thoughts. He used lines from one of the scripts of one of the Fast and Furious films. And I thought to myself, wow, actors are really stupid. He can't even put together his own thoughts. It was like freaky crazy. I've seen other actors do this in interviews. There was this Canadian police show that I used to watch. It's not on anymore, called Flashpoint. And I saw an interview with one of the lead actors, and he was talking about the show and the cast, and he was answering the question. I'd seen every episode of the show, so I knew. he was answering this interviewer with exact lines that his character used in episodes of the show. Actors are stupid people. And apparently vice presidents are too. And let me tell you, Dan Quayle is Albert Einstein compared to Kamala Harris. And that explanation she gave on this radio interview, I'm going to play it again for you right now, is as frightening as Biden's cognitive decline last night, because this is when the national security team go in to brief her on what's going on. They talk to her like she's, on Romper Room or Barney's Playhouse or something. Listen. Oh, got to click it again. Sorry, hit the wrong thing. Here we go.
Break it down in layman's terms for people who don't understand what's going on and how can this directly affect the people of the United States.
So Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia. Russia is a bigger country. Russia is a powerful country. Russia decided to invade a smaller country called Ukraine. So basically that's wrong.
Wow. That's it. Heartbeat away from a president in severe cognitive decline. All right, our number is toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. That is truly scary. Good morning, you're on the air.
Good morning, Sarah, Doug.
Yes, Doug.
Mike, that State of the Union, I watched it only until Biden started taking credit for everything Trump did, and Buy America was really, I had to shut it off. I couldn't take it anymore. And what the hell is wrong with Nancy Pelosi, the Wicked Witch of the West, sucking her teeth? Like, doesn't anybody tell her she looks like this? She's mentally ill. She sat there just sucking her teeth. It was like I was watching her more than Biden.
Well, she was sucking what?
Sucking her teeth.
Oh, her teeth. Okay. You're talking about Willie Brown's girlfriend, so I didn't quite catch you. No, I heard you the first time. I just was trying to make it interesting. Hey, by the way, thanks for the call, Doug. There's a lot of people talking about the strange look on Nancy Pelosi's, she had a strange look too, on Kamala Harris's face. I think what that look is on Kamala Harris's face that everyone's talking about is complete fear that she's going to be called upon to take over when he has a cognitive collapse. You see how stupid she is, how they have to explain to her in such childlike, toddler-like fashion what's going on in Ukraine. She's terrified. She gets the briefing. She knows what's going on. She's completely incompetent. Every job she's had throughout her entire political career is just a stepping stone to the next one. She's never really done anything. She's never had any responsibility. Even when she was the Attorney General of California, all the people that worked under her handled everything. Now she's in a position where she may have to actually be in charge of something. That's one of the problems Biden's having. Biden spent his whole life in the Senate. Senators do nothing. They vote yay, nay, and present. Nothing. They come out and talk and do interviews and things. They do nothing. And for the first time in Biden's life, he's the man, and he has to make decisions. And decisions, affect people's lives, and there's consequences. She's terrified. I think she regrets taking the job. I think Kamala Harris screwed herself, and she knows it. She could have been in the Senate for life, voting yay, nay, and present, and go shoe shopping all the time and worry about things that are important like that. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. It's research on that those bottles that were sitting in front of Pelosi.
Yes.
It's one of the oldest artifacts. They are ink containers.
Yeah, somebody called me about that about half an hour ago. That from Quill Ink. Yeah, they're not they're not for brandy, bourbon, Irish whiskey. Oh, shame on you! You missed a moment of this program. How dare you? I'll tell you that I'll say to you what I said to the caller half an hour ago. They're what we found out they're containers for ink that were used in quill pens in the Congress. How many racist slave bills and things do you think were signed from ink that were in those bottles?
about that.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
yeah.
History's sitting right there.
Well, a lot of history that liberals like to cancel. They get angry at objects and all kinds of things all the time for the racist past. You're telling me that there were no racist laws that were written and signed out of those ink jars? I bet they were. We got to find out. They might have signed the fugitive slave laws with the ink out of those bottles.
Somebody do some deep research into that.
Yeah. Exactly. So if anyone can tell me if they're the oldest artifacts, were they used by the speakers of the time? I think we need to do a deep dive, and her having those ink bottles would be like having ink pens that belonged to Adolf Hitler that they were signing Holocaust stuff on. Do you understand what I mean?
I'm gonna make you a promise. I'm gonna make a commitment. I'm gonna take some time today. I'm gonna do some deep research into that. I'll on your program tomorrow morning.
That's great,
Marco.
Yeah, I'm serious. I want to hold these people accountable. Is she parading around artifacts that were used to keep African Americans enslaved?
Yeah, she put that out there to get the American people's attention and.
Oh, she got mine.
Curiosity.
She got my attention. Yeah. So what is it? What is it? What is she carrying around these? There's no doubt in my mind that very racist laws were written and signed with ink that those bottles contained. And if you're taking down statues of Robert E. Lee and Thomas Jefferson and others, those belong in a war crimes museum.
Instead, they destroyed them. And you know what? You can't steal history. You can't erase history. History is history.
Well, the Democrats, this is the thing, okay? All these statues and stuff they take down, if you notice, for the most part, they're taking down statues of Democrats. Robert E. Lee, Democrat. They're trying to erase the history of the Democrat Party because people have gotten wise to the fact, finally, that the Democrats were the party of the Confederacy, slavery, Jim Crow, busing. The bus driver that got Rosa Parks arrested was a Democrat. You know what I mean? And so what they're doing is they're trying to wipe out the racist history of the Democrat Party.
Yeah, they're the core of all the hostility and the race division in this country.
Always have been.
Good.
Always have been. All right, thanks for the call. Let me know what you find. All right, let's take that break. Our first break of the second hour is the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. Back after this.
Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's Stacy.
Glenn Evans, $2 super chat. Everyone thank Glenn Evans. Love this channel. Well, thank you, Glenn. Get all your friends to sub. Steve Kane Show. Hold on. See what I can find about that. Pelosi's ink bottles.
Bring it in the next day. He's amazing. He did everything. He didn't overcharge me. He went through my car, and I would recommend anybody to go to him. He's absolutely amazing.
Well, Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca, they do great work, and I want to thank you for calling. And I learned something about Champagne Automotive Repair from you in this call. I did not know that they actually did repairs on hybrid vehicles.
What had happened was, when I brought it to the dealership,
I need to find that out.
We want to do this, we want to do that. And when I heard about Champagne Automotive, I called when I got there, and I said, he goes, well, I already ordered the oil.
Yeah, and bombastic, you left out the internment of Americans of Japanese descent. Democrats did that too. Tuskegee experiments. Democrats did that. Everything that the Democrats want us as a country to apologize for was brought to us by them.
Champagne Automotive Repair, their prices are great. They'll never do a repair on your vehicle that your vehicle doesn't need. Their number is 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101. And what's your name, caller?
My name is Stacy, and thank you very much, Champagne Automotive. And thank you very much, Brian and Steve.
For Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca, 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101.
Steve Kane Show. Hold on.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, 21 minutes after the hour is the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. Let's go back to our phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Bill from Boca.
Bill in Boca. What's up?
Our power lies in the truckers' hands. The truckers don't deliver to the gas stations or the grocery stores. The American public will drain the gas stations and the grocery stores. We tell Biden release all the restrictions up.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. As of yesterday, the trucker convoy, the U.S. trucker convoy heading to Washington, as of yesterday at the afternoon, was 15 miles long and is growing on the route. And I've noticed the fake news media have been reporting that the convoy's been falling apart. I don't know, so they've just basically been lying to us. But, they've called out the National Guard to D.C. The National Guard have been deployed to Washington to stop the American trucker convoy heading there.
Well, something has to wake up Biden.
Nothing can wake up Biden. Didn't you see him last night? His cognitive decline is too severe. He's beyond that.
The people that are pushing his button.
Yeah, well, who's that? Who do you think? I mean, it's not Kamala. Nancy looked like a lunatic last night. Who's running the show?
The deep state.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, Bob and Boca, take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, it's Chaplain Jethro. How are you?
Oh, hey, Chaplain Jethro. Good. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. Last night I was keeping score of how many times he misspoke or stuttered. That was 13 times. And 25 times he lied in 1 hour.
Well, give me an example of a lie, because sometimes people think a lie is just a difference of opinion. Do you have a specific lie that he told?
Let's see.
Don't mean to put you on the spot. I'm sorry. I put Chaplain Jethro on the spot. We all misspeak, but he didn't misspeak. He was confused when he called the Ukrainians Iranians, for example. That was just confusion, and he didn't even catch himself. Right? So he didn't even know the difference. And that, to me, is the biggest takeaway, is his cognitive decline that he's suffering from.
His biggest lie, I thought, of the night is that inflation was caused by the pandemic. Oh, come on.
Yeah, that's insane.
Right.
That's insane.
The other thing I was going to mention is the fact that he was talking about cutting insulin costs in half. I about came out of my chair and I was about ready to pound the floor. I said, "You're the one that's caused my doggone costs to go up $140 every 3 months."
Mm-hmm.
Good God, have mercy! What is bigger than man?
Well, and other than Trump's State of the Unions, every other president, the State of the Union is, they just say a lot of things that make people feel good that never happen. Like he talked about combating inflation and lowering gas prices. What's he going to do to accomplish that?
Electric cars.
Yeah, well, listen, that's worse. If everyone on your block started using electric cars, I mean, would the electrical grid even be able to handle that? And what would your electric bill go up to?
I can't even imagine. I just I thought about that last night when he was talking. I said, right there, dear, he hasn't even improved the infrastructure of our electrical grid.
Mm-hmm.
How in the world is he going to be able to get electric cars in every driveway and save us $80 a month?
I have no interest in an electric car. I've driven them. My brother-in-law has a Tesla, and he tried to drive to Disney World with his family. They got halfway there. They had to pull over and charge it for a couple hours. Couldn't make it. 3-hour drive. They couldn't make it because he miscalculated, because he's usually in the car by himself, and he had the whole family in there, a week's worth of luggage, and the air conditioning on, and it ate up the electricity. Whenever you see a car for sale and it gives you the miles per gallon, that's without the air conditioning off in ideal traffic conditions. And the same thing in these electric vehicles. When they give you the mileage per charge, they don't give it to you with the air conditioning on and with the car loaded with a full family with luggage, which takes the electric off. So the mileage that you get with that they quote you don't get anywhere near that. Unless you're by yourself and you weigh 80 pounds, like Karen Carpenter. Probably not a funny joke to make, but
the the fact that he's going to have Medicare negotiate prescription prices just about made me laugh out of my chair.
Yeah, yeah.
Happen?
Nothing he said is going to happen. Nothing. I got to tell you this. I found it a frightening State of the Union because of the cognitive decline was so apparent, and that to me is frightening. We're on the verge of quite possibly the Third World War. We're closer to World War III than we've ever been. This is more heated than the Cuban Missile Crisis, because Khrushchev was not in danger of it happened later, but at that particular moment in time, he wasn't being threatened. Biden is trying to get people inside Russia to take out Putin. Yeah, you know what I mean. Kennedy wasn't trying to do that with Khrushchev. Khrushchev ended out later, but Kennedy during the crisis wasn't trying to overthrow him or get rid of him by other means. Biden ended the thing last night by saying, "Go get him." And and when he's that checked out and he's bringing us to the edge of war with this caged animal Putin, regardless of what your opinion is on Putin, it's very dangerous. Very dangerous right now in this world because of his cognitive decline. He is unfit.
Absolutely. I would label this speech from a song from the Temptations, Ball of Confusion.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. All right, Jethro, thanks for the call. All right, take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Richard in Pompano.
All right, Richard in Pompano. What's up?
Okay, I just want you to know how my anger level reached when Biden gives his speech. I'm already nauseous, but when he starts off a sentence, my dad used to tell me.
Oh.
I'm so sick of hearing that crap. I threw a paperback book against the wall and hit a lamp.
Yeah, the way he talks about his dad, like his dad's the guy that writes all the fortunes in the fortune cookies or something. His dad just went around just giving wisdom all day.
He's so disgusting. I can't even talk on the phone right now. I'm so freaking mad. All right.
Oh, well, thank you. I'll do just that. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. It's Larry.
Hey, Larry.
Yeah, I'm calling from Plantation.
Mm-hmm.
So the biggest thing I saw last night was how the Democrats gave cover to Biden every time he started to lose it at the end of a sentence. He would start to ramble, and he'd never finish his thought, and they would just start clapping.
Ah. Yes.
Stop. He would be able to regather himself, and then he'd go on to his next blabber.
Yeah. Also, that's interesting. So you think this was a coordinated effort among Democrats?
Absolutely. There was one time where he said something, I can't remember what it was, and the Republicans booed him. And right after that, the Democrats more loudly cheered him. And so it was all, in my opinion, it was all coordinated. They were throwing cover for him whenever he would get off track.
Yeah. Yeah.
The biggest memory I have of the State of the Union was when that representatives of South Carolina called Obama a liar. And you could hear it out loud.
That was the best.
During a pause. Yeah, great.
Yeah, but you know, when Lauren Boebert yelled out to him about the 13 Americans that were killed because of his incompetence, she got booed. They were booing the remembrance of 13 killed servicemen and women. Never seen that. But never seen Democrats haven't booed fallen American service personnel since the Vietnam War.
And when was the last time they chanted USA?
Oh no, that's never.
They were chanting USA.
Yeah. All right, hey, take care. Thanks for the call. All right, we got to run for a break. We'll take our break for the bottom of the hour. By the way, great calls today, with callers making observations that have really blown my mind away. I didn't pick up on that. That caller's observation, how the Democrat applause was a coordinated effort. If Biden started to lose his train of thought, they started applauding to give him time to regather his thoughts. I didn't pick up on that, but now that you said it, You were right on the money. All right, our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating, yes, 45 years on the Florida radio waves this year. We'll be right back.
For Steve Kane, Richie the bus driver, and
welcome. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. And everybody, please like the video and click that notification bell. And if you've never called before or have not called in a while, pick up the phone, give me a call. The observations that you guys are making today are very good. Very, very good. I pinned the call-in number to the top of the chat. 888-465-2631. After the show, I got to take off. I got 3 meetings I have to go to this morning away from the radio station. So I'm so busy with meetings, I shouldn't even be here live today. Yeah, that State of the Union was very frightening. Frightening.
Glad you had a great experience with Dr.
Yeah, I did. Thank you again, Brian.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, and thank Steve, and you guys keep up the good work over there. I appreciate it. Dr. Gupta, you keep up the good work, too.
All right, there we go.
So everybody keep up.
All right, I think you guys just heard what will be the new commercial for Dr. Gupta.
Do what Hank did. Call Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. For Steve Kane listeners, free consultations. And always the best price. Give Dr. Gupta a call right now. 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633.
Hello, this is Mike Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used.
Just reading an article.
Have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954.
Yeah, Jonathan, I've heard about a Highlander reboot. Henry Cavill, really? Well, I hope they don't screw it up and make it woke. I hope it's not a woke Highlander.
Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid moving. Call the single law with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We're talking about the State of the Union. Some of you may have heard on March 19th, President Trump is going to be speaking right here in South Florida and at the arena where the Panthers play, over by the Sawgrass Mills Mall. And yes, I'm going to be there. And it's Saturday, March 19th. It's the American Freedom Tour. And this is not a rally. This is a private ticketed event. And speaking will be Bongino, Kim Guilfoyle, Don Jr., Candace Owens, Sarah Huckabee, and of course, the headliner, the greatest president ever, the 45th president of the United States, who will also be the 47th president of the United States. Unless Kamala has to come in, and then he'll be the 48th and 45th. President Trump. And yes, I got a ticket, and I will be there, and I'm really looking forward to it. And it's online, AmericanFreedomTour.com, AmericanFreedomTour.com. That you can buy tickets for it. They are, but do not buy the cheap seats. There's the lowest price tier. You're not in the arena. You're in an overflow room. Okay, so if you go and buy tickets. If you buy the cheapest ones, you will be in the overflow room, all right? And you might as well watch it on TV or the internet if you're going to be there, because you'll just be watching it on a screen in another room. If you want to be in the room with President Trump, you'll see which ones to buy, okay? And they're all there. I'm looking forward to it, and if you've never seen President Trump in person with your own eyes, you got to see him in person with your own eyes and experience the electricity that comes from that. And, you know, if President Trump ever comes to your town and you should go to the rally. I know sometimes it can be tough. You know, they're outside sometimes, but this one's inside and air-conditioned, and everyone will have a seat. So you don't have to stand, you know, because it can be tough, these things. But when you go to a Trump rally, I've been to several. If you go to any events with President Trump, it's a very exciting event. You don't know anyone, but you're all family. It really is. It's like that. It's a pretty cool thing. And what you will see is diversity like you've never seen. You know, and I talk about this sometimes with these Trump rallies and events. I've been going to Republican events forever, you know, for a long time, my whole adult life. And prior to Trump, it was usually just white people. Here in Florida, every once in a while, you know, there'd be a couple of Cubans. On rare occasions, there would be a black person, and usually the black person was there to be a guest speaker, and they would talk about how they escaped the Democrat slave plantation, and people would sit in on. You go to a Trump event, it is the most diverse thing you have ever seen when it comes to skin color, and you know, like this venue that I'm going to with the American Freedom Tour on March 19th. Tickets are still available, and they are not paid sponsors of the show, although they should be, because I'm giving them this promotion. But I'm happy to do it. I don't know if Steve will be happy I'm doing it, but I'll find out soon enough. I went to a Trump rally at the same venue. It's where the Florida Panthers play, by the Sawgrass Mills Mall. And what I did, which I'll probably do this time, I park at the mall and then walk across the street, because it's free to park at the mall, and you have to pay to park at the arena. But when I went to the Trump rally at the Panthers Arena, it's our hockey team here, I've seen some strange events in that place. I saw the American Idol tour there. I saw Benny Hinn there once. And this will be my second time seeing President Trump there. And this is also the place where President Trump did his event with Bill O'Reilly a few months back. But when I went to the Trump rally at the Panther Arena, it was the first Trump event that I had been to while he was president. I went to a Trump rally in Boca that was right down 2 miles from my house, literally. But he wasn't president yet. But when I went to the one when he was president, the first one I went to when he was president, it was at Thanksgiving week. It was something I've never seen, the diversity. I couldn't believe, I've never seen so many black people at a Republican event in my life. It was, you know, and that, you know, that's what's got the Democrats scared. They've lost so much. That's where all this critical race theory stuff is all about, trying to get blacks to come back home to the Democrat plantation. And a lot of Hispanics, there were, I went by myself, and so I was sitting by myself, and there were two Hispanic women sitting on each side of me, and they weren't Cubans, which, you know, we got a lot of Cubans in Florida, and I know they weren't Cubans because a lot of Hispanic people, they like to have the flag of their country on something, their clothes, their phones, so you know that they're not, you know, what they are. And I didn't recognize, they both had flags on their phones. I didn't recognize the flag. So I don't know, Guatemala, Honduras, I don't know. But you will, you know, and an interesting thing about it is, it's real and organic. You know, the Democrats, when they put on events, they bus people in, right? They'll have a group that's a group that reaches out to blacks. They'll come in on that bus. They have a group that reaches out to gays. The gays come in on another bus. And then when they get there, because it's fake, they don't go there on their own. They're driven there on these buses. They all sit together. So you got your gay section, black section, Hispanic section, female section. When you go to a Trump event, no matter what the event is, the rally or this private event like I'm talking about, the American Freedom Tour, AmericanFreedomTour.com, everyone goes on their own, in their own vehicle. Nobody's bussed in. It's a real crowd. of people that take off work, and it costs them to go there. At Democrat events, not only are they bussed in, it's free, and sometimes they put them up in hotels, they give them food and everything else. When people come to a Trump event, it costs them money. They miss work. They do whatever they got to do. And then because everyone has come there on their own as opposed to being bussed in on the bus for that special interest group, it's the seating is very integrated. Everybody's sitting together wherever they get the seat. So you don't have a black section, gay section, women's section. Everybody's mixed. It's very diverse. And one of the reasons at the Trump events that the cameras don't show the crowds, President Trump talks about that a lot, right? It's kind of like a running gag in all of his speeches. They don't want to show you the size of the crowds. That's only half the story. The reason the cameras don't pan around at Trump events is not only because you don't see the size of the crowd there. They don't want people to see that. They don't want people to see how diverse it is. They want you to think that the only black people there are the blacks for Trump that are always behind Trump because they get there early. Maurice and his crew, And if they panned around, you would see such a ethnically diverse group of people. It would just, people watch it on television would be shocked. They think it's a bunch of white supremacists. Now, one last thing, and then we'll break. And after the break, I'll go back to the phones. Our number, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call from anywhere. In fact, let me take the break now because if I start talking about my next thing, I'm going to run out of time. I'm going to go long on the break. I want to take a moment to tell you guys about, that's right, the Thomas Edison of sleep, the inventor of the MyPillow, Mike Lindell. Now, when I talk to you about specials that are available with our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, at MyPillow.com, you need to take advantage of these while they are there. These specials are not there forever. They disappear without notice. I want to tell everyone about the MyPillow 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets that are 60% off with our promo code at checkout, KANE, K-A-N-E. I have 4 sets of the MyPillow 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets. They are spectacular sheets. We have 2 sets of flannel and 2 regular. Okay? And they perfectly regulate your body temperature. I don't know what it is about the MyPillow 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets, but your body temperature is always the perfect temperature, regardless of what the temperature is in your house or outside or whatever's going on. It's absolutely amazing. And they are very high quality. We've had these MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets for a long time. We wash and dry them, and they don't shrink like other sheets do. And when I noticed this the most, I noticed this the first time we made the bed with them, but I think about it every time we make the bed. That bottom sheet, with the elastic on it, with other sheets, you could never get all 4 corners on. And you get 3 on. None of them are on all the way except the first one, maybe 2 of them. But that last 4th corner, you just barely get it over the edge of the mattress, and you're pulling with all your might. And me, I'm always afraid I'm going to slip and my back's going to hit the knob on the dresser or something. Depending on which corner, I might hit a closet door or something. With the MyPillow 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets, all 4 corners fit perfectly. 2 fingers and a thumb. Boom, 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 boom. Without effort. I know they're spectacular. 60% off the MyPillow 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets with the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, as low as $39.99. Come in many different colors. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E.
You want to keep it private. After all,
Steve Kane Show. Yep, hold on. Steve Kane Show. Hold on.
554-906-5983. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
This is Steve Kane for attorney Barry Siegel. Barry did a great job for me and my family.
Oh, boy.
Listen to one of our listeners, Ray, talk about his experience with Barry Siegel.
I want to praise Barry Siegel, and one of the most important things about sponsors is integrity. You have to know that you're dealing with an honest person. I had to go up to Myrtle Beach with my sister because her husband died, and I was helping her out. She had a trust and everything. She had not revised this trust since 1997. And Barry says every 3 years at least you got to. I called Barry's office because I had a question. I let the secretary know. I said, look, I'm calling from South Carolina. I know the laws are different, and I'm just asking for information for my sister. Now, most people would just blow you off, right? Almost immediately, within a few minutes, Barry himself called me. I asked my questions and so on, and he answered. He was very patient. I was quite a while with him, and talking about a lot of things, and this and that. But I wanted to say, character, integrity, these are the most important things with sponsors, and all of your sponsors, because I've dealt with a lot of them, they all have that you can trust them, and you're getting a fair shake.
Do what Ray did. Call attorney Barry Siegel right now. Toll free 1-855-FLA-3782. That's 1-855 toll free FLA-3782. Tell them Steve sent you.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
All right, welcome back. Yes, 48 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's Joe, and I'm calling from Margate.
Joe in Margate. What's up, Joe?
Yeah. I was listening to the overnight show, and you mentioned about Pat Robertson talking about forcing Russia to invade Israel on the mountain.
Well, he said that what Putin is doing is answering biblical prophecy, is what Pat Robertson said.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 38, talks about God will put hooks in Russia's jaws and draw them against the mountains of Israel.
The word Russia is in the Bible?
Well, it's not called Russia. It's called Gog or Magog. The war of Gog and Magog.
Okay.
Ezekiel 38. And I guess it says the mountains of Israel. I guess it's the Golan Heights. Anyway, there will be a supernatural attack on the invaders, Russia, Turkey, Syria. And there'll be earthquakes. There'll be 100-pound blocks of ice. I forget what the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And 80% of all the invading soldiers against Israel will be killed. The remaining 20% will crawl back to their countries. It's a judgment against Russia.
So you believe, that what they're talking about there in Ezekiel is this current military action against Ukraine by Russia. You believe that?
No. That's just arrogance on Putin's part. But God is going to judge Russia because of their arrogance.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to force Russia into the mountains of Israel. Putin's not planning it right now. That's probably out of his...
So that's what Pat Robertson was referencing, but you believe that?
Of course, I believe all Bible prophets.
Oh, no, I'm not, of course, no, hold on a second. No, hold on. I believe the Bible too, all right? But what we're talking about is what, yeah, sure. But what's going on right now, you believe is Russia, is what is talked about in the Bible, in this current event.
Yeah.
Okay. Not thinking that this is what's being referred to in Ezekiel is not the same thing as not believing Bible prophecy. It's just disagreeing with whether or not this is that prophecy being fulfilled.
Okay. The Bible and Ezekiel talks about the power to the north, and if you go in a straight line from Jerusalem to Moscow, You go in a straight line from Jerusalem, you go straight north, and you hit Moscow.
Mm-hmm.
It is Russia, but in the Bible, Russia is referred to as Magog or Gog. You know.
Well, why doesn't it say Russia?
Well,
if it's and you know, I don't want people to think I don't believe in the Bible, because I do. I'm a Christian. I'm a Catholic. I do. But what I don't know, because I don't know what God's plans are or anything. But and none of us do in a particular moment in time. But I'm not so convinced that Pat Robertson is right that this Russian action is what's talked about in the Bible. Well, if it said Russia, we wouldn't even be debating.
In history, scholars have traced the name Gog and Magog back to what was it, Ross or something like that, and it's Russia.
Okay.
Up from Jerusalem.
Well, we're going to find out soon, I would imagine.
There's another incident that's going to happen according to Bible prophecy, if you're interested.
What?
It talks about the rapture of the believers of Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is coming back to the earth, not to land on the earth, but he's going to take his believers out and take them to heaven.
Yes.
It will be the beginning of the 7-year tribulation.
Correct.
To be revealed Antichrist.
Catholics do read the Bible.
Okay. So after that, when the
Catholics
believers
do
in
read the
Christ
Bible.
are taken out, that's when the war of Gog and Magog will take place, when God throws Russia.
Yeah, but you believe this is the beginning of the tribulation, is what you're saying.
No, but that will be, because...
Well, we know that's coming, we just don't know when. But so I'm asking you, is that what's happening now, you believe?
Beginning of the tribulation.
Okay.
It could be 6 months, 18 months.
Or it could be 18,000 years, right? It could be 18,000 years.
No. Look, when God created the human race, he only created the human race to last for 7,000 years.
Okay.
And we're at the end of the 6,000th year, maybe, let's say the year 2030.
Okay, so it could be another 1,000 years.
Well, after that, at the end of the 6,000 years exactly, Jesus Christ will return on the second coming.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see. So it's got to okay, the last 1,000. Okay, I see what you're saying. Hey, listen, thanks for the call. I do appreciate it. All right, our number toll free 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. In the next hour, I'm going to get into some of my audio sound bites. I do have some sound clips of Biden last night and a couple of other things that I want to share and go over with you. But I'm going to wait until the next hour to get into the audio sound bites because I don't have time to do it now. But we are going to get back to talking about the State of the Union after the break. And, you know, as I started the show, and I'll just recap a little bit, is the biggest takeaway from the State of the Union is that the President of the United States, who has command of the nuclear football, who is bringing us to the brink of war with Russia, is not cognitively fit to run anything. And it was very apparent last night. And he's getting worse. And it's dangerous. And you know, he threatened Putin last night. What were the exact words he said? Putin has no idea what's coming. Well, I think you might have an idea now since you're letting people know at the State of the Union. But, you know, I was talking to a caller earlier about this. And I don't want this to... I am an anti-war guy. I do not want war with anyone. But Joe Biden, I do believe, is bringing us closer to war with Russia than we have ever been, even during the hottest tensions of the Cuban Missile Crisis and other tensions that may have happened during the Cold War period. You know, like when the Russians surrounded Berlin during the Berlin airlift. We are in the most dangerous time ever right now in regards to Russia and war, because Biden is checked out cognitively, which means he's inconsistent, he's unpredictable. You never know what he's going to do. Afghanistan showed American weakness, but it also showed that the commander-in-chief is checked out and gave an order that should not have been given, and that's why it was such a disaster. And he's threatening Russia. During these other tensions, the Berlin blockade, the Cuban Missile Crisis, and whatever other tensions we had with Russia, okay, there was never a direct threat to the Russian leader. There was never an open move by the United States to take the Russian leader out by any means necessary, which could be a murder, or it could be a military action, it could be a coup inside Russia. He's threatening Putin directly with losing power and or his life. Kennedy didn't do this. None of the other presidents did this. Okay? None of the other presidents did this. That's what makes this more dangerous than any of those other times. Okay? And we have no one around Biden who's with it. They may not have cognitive decline, but they're stupid like Kamala. Or they're more concerned about having a Supreme Court that looks like America as opposed to something that's competent and on the Supreme Court. So this is a scary time, and it is also a dangerous time. We're going to take our break and be right back.
AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Steve Kane Show. Oh, hey, Jen, I thought it was you. Just you're a little late. I'll take you coming out of the break, all right? Hold on.
Envelope ready for the next season. Laporta Contracting installs all types of roofs, from asphalt, clay, and concrete, standing metal seam, flat roofs, and slate tile systems. Our building restoration offers complete envelope protection to include siding, stucco, concrete restoration, impact windows and doors, weatherproofing, and painting. Laporta Contracting serves single-family, multifamily, HOAs, and commercial properties. Call Laporta Contracting today for a free evaluation and estimate, and go to our website to see our team and past customer videos at laportacontracting.com. Our number is 954-604-4602. That number again is 954-604-4602. And thanks for listening to The Steve Kane Show.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Call the show toll free. Dial 1-888-COCAINE 1.
All right, and it is 8 o'clock sharp. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. My name is Brian Craig, and it's time to check in with Janet Cimarelli, licensed nutrition counselor at AJ's Natural Wellness Shop at the Festival Marketplace in Pompano with the Morning Health Report. Janet Cimarelli, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. And so the Morning Health Report is here to tell your listeners about what is new at AJ's. First of all, when you come into AJ's, you'll see a calendar for the whole month of March. All of the fabulous things that are going on. We have people talking about raising your health vibration. We have people doing a little cosmetic thing. We're doing teeth whitening at AJ's Natural Wellness Shop. You need to call for an appointment, and you need to find out about the dates. Okay. And what else is new at AJ's? We have so many people who don't want to swallow pills, they don't want to swallow capsules, and they don't even want to add a liquid like to their morning smoothie. So what have we got?
gummies. We have melatonin gummies. We have vitamin D gummies. We have multivitamin gummies. We have all kinds of gummies. So come on in and try some of our vitamin D gummies. Then we have lots of you, our listeners, I'm sure, are familiar with Dr. Mercola. We have some of Dr. Mercola's formulas. We have from Planet Source some really unusual formulas. And there is one that is for neurological balance. You know, in these stressful situations that we're all facing, the COVID, the economy, everything that's going on, here is something from Planet Source that will calm you. Stop that incessant chatter that keeps us distracted and keeps us anxious. So all of that is available, all of that and lots more. Really good power, protein power bars, all kinds of great stuff. A little bit of fine chocolate to satisfy that craving. So come on into AJ's and find all that good stuff.
Absolutely, absolutely. And of course, AJ's is located in the Festival Marketplace in Pompano, which is very easy to find. The festival is immediately east of the Turnpike on the south side of Sample. Once you're inside, head back towards the food court. Look west, you'll see an information booth. AJ's Natural Wellness Shop is right in front of the information booth. And you can also call ahead and for some of the things that Janet Cimrelli has been talking about here, including making a no-charge consultation appointment with her at 954-317-1851. 954-317-1851. All right, Janet Cimrelli, we'll talk tomorrow.
We will.
All right, take care. All right, we've been talking about the State of the Union. We'll continue with that, and I'll take some calls and get to some of my audio coming up. Good morning, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Joe from Coral Springs.
Hey, Joe. All right, Joe in Coral Springs.
I watched a little bit of his address last night, and in the beginning it was disgusting. He tried taking, credit for what's going on in Ukraine, how the people are fighting back. And it was embarrassing how he was trying to take credit for that.
Mm-hmm.
No mention of how Trump and his administration sent defensive weapons, which nobody else ever sent. All they sent was food and stuff. No mention of that.
Well, the victories that Ukraine has had against the tanks that Russia has sent in are because of those shoulder-based anti-tank rockets that President Trump gave them. Yeah, the Javelins. That's right.
And then he goes on about the economy and how he's going to start up this investigation on money being misused about COVID. And he's going to lower the deficit, and then he starts throwing out all these freebies again about free college and free this. He sounded like he was on a campaign.
They all do. Well, that's what except for President Trump's, all the other presidents, the State of the Union is a campaign speech. They go through a laundry list of things that are never going to happen. They get people excited, and especially Democrats that are stupid. They think it's all going to happen, so they start promising free crap. But that State of the Union last night, even the left have given... I'm going to play some analysis from Chuck Todd of Meet the Press, NBC News, in a moment. Even the liberals gave very, very poor marks to that. And they're there to make him look good, and they couldn't even do it.
He played both sides. He tried to say he was going to tighten the belt, and then he was offering everything in the kitchen sink. It was disgusting. I shut it off after that. I couldn't even watch.
Yeah. All right. Hey, listen. Thanks for the call from Coral Springs. Let me play, before I get to the Biden himself, this is Chuck Todd and MSNBC last night giving their analysis of the State of the Union.
For the sake of the Ukrainians, I hope we don't say it didn't, I hope we say, oh, it was about right. But I fear this is going to feel like a speech that didn't age well.
Wow. A speech that didn't age well. These are his cheerleaders.
For the sake of the Ukrainians, I hope we don't say it didn't, I hope we say, oh, it was about right. But I fear this is going to feel like a speech that didn't age well because of the lack of... I thought he'd spend more time in Ukraine, spend a little more time explaining why it is our fight. As you said, good versus evil, explain a little bit more, and a little bit of the history of the defense of Europe, and a little bit of why we're in this position, why we have these alliances.
Wow.
All means. And it just felt like an abrupt end after the 12 minutes of that. And it felt like, boy, we could have had more. There was more to say. I think there was more that the public would have. And then it turned, look, I do think he accomplished two important pieces of policy.
Okay, so I don't know who's yelling in the background there, but that's NBC News' Chuck Todd giving a negative analysis of it. And my big takeaway, I've been talking about it today, is simple. It was scary. I can't sit here and discuss the fallacy of his energy policy. He doesn't even know what the freak was going on last night. You know, I see Joe Biden walking around that White House looking for Barack, thinking Barack's the president half the time. And last night was an example of that. Listen to this. Listen to this clip.
Because you can't build a wall high enough to keep out a vaccine. The vaccine can stop the spread of these diseases.
Don Jr. tweeted that soundbite that I just played for you. I pulled that off of Don Jr.'s Twitter, and Don Jr. simply tweeted WTF. I mean, what is he saying here?
Because you can't build a wall high enough to keep out a vaccine. The vaccine can stop the spread of these diseases.
See, he got confused. He lost his train of thought. And that's why he made no sense. He put two different subjects together as one because he got lost. That's the man who's leading us into a war with Russia. This is the end. Listen.
One America, the United States of America. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you. Go get him.
Go get him. Go get him. Who is the him? Is he calling on someone to take down Putin? I'll tell you what, that's how Putin took it. This is what I was talking about earlier, about how he is bringing us closer to a military conflict with Russia than we've ever been. Now, I'll tell you, I'm not as afraid of Russia as I used to be. They've stalled in Ukraine. Their supply chain's fallen apart. Many of their soldiers are deserting the army and surrendering to the Ukrainians. And it's a week of war, they've not achieved a single military objective yet. So the Red Army there, they're not what they used to be. But that doesn't mean we want to go to war with them. And, you know, a lot of this will get lost in translation. There's no doubt Putin thinks that Biden is directly threatening him and telling and sending out word to go get him. That's not good. That is not good. You know, when you're in a position like this, you want to cool things down.
We stand with you. Putin may circle Kyiv with tanks, but he'll never gain the hearts and souls of the Iranian people.
Oh.
He'll never...
Hear that nervous applause? See, now this is an interesting thing. He just called the Ukrainians the Iranians, and everyone misspeaks, and I'm not, you know, picking on the guy, but he didn't correct himself. And we had a caller that called in about an hour and a half ago who had picked up on a very, very interesting thing that I missed, and I haven't heard anybody else pick up on. That when Biden would start to lose it, the Democrats would applaud, so he would have to stop speaking so he could gather his thoughts. And when he called the Ukrainians Iranians, that's when it started, but it didn't, only like one or two people did it, and it stopped. If he doesn't know the difference between the Ukrainians and the Iranians, how can he be running this country and our military in time of major conflict and a lot of trouble at home?
We stand with you. Putin may circle Kyiv with tanks, but he'll never gain the hearts and souls of the Iranian people. He'll never extinguish their love of freedom, and he will never weaken the resolve of the free world.
Wow. That is frightening. Frightening. Everyone misspeaks, but he didn't correct it. And you can hear the nervousness coming out. And I know some people today will play a clip like that and think it's funny and laugh. Oh, he doesn't even know. It is not funny. There are thousands of American service personnel that are on their way over there to the area. Things are getting heated, and it's being run by a guy who doesn't know what's going on. He has no idea what's going on. And to sit around and think these moments are funny, they are not. To sit around and analyze, like this one clip, I pulled this up only because I heard some people do an analysis. This is Biden on immigration.
In order to advance liberty and justice, we need to secure our border and fix the immigration system.
Well, it was fixed. President Trump had it fixed. You destroyed it. But that clip, I only pulled that up because I got up really early this morning because I couldn't stay up to watch the analysis. So I got up early this morning to watch some of the analysis. They took that clip and were doing detailed analysis of it. How can you have a serious discussion analyzing his immigration policy, or the inflation problems, or anything else, when he is obviously so cognitively checked out, he doesn't know what is up and what is down? You can't. He has no policies. He's confused. He doesn't know why he is in a certain place at any particular time. The yelling, he was doing some of the yelling there. What happens with people, see, here in Florida, since we have the oldest population, we have more people walking around that are like Biden than in other places. But people that are suffering from Alzheimer's and other related cognitive issues sometimes mask it with anger. When they're angry, they feel that they sound more energized and more with it, so they yell. That's the Biden tactic. Now, there was one moment that I thought was a beautiful moment, and that was Lauren Boebert when she shouted out while Biden was speaking, and good for her. Listen.
These burn pits that incinerate waste, the waste of war, medical and hazardous material, jet fuel, and so much more. And they come home. Many of the world's fittest and best trained warriors in the world. Never the same. Headaches, numbness, dizziness. A cancer that would put them in a flag-draped coffin. I know.
That was Boebert. She said, you put 13 of them in there, and then hear the boos.
Coffin. I know. One of those.
Good for her.
Those soldiers was my son, Major Bo Biden.
Wow. Of course, Lauren Boebert was yelled out about the 13 American service personnel who were killed at the airport in Afghanistan. And I want to know who booed. Were any Republicans booing her? I hope no Republican was booing Lauren Boebert, who was remembering 13 fallen service personnel. Good for her. And let's see what happens. Is she going to be censured by Nancy Pelosi? Bring it on, Nancy. Highlight it some more what Joe Biden did due to his cognitive decline, his incompetence, and his just unfit for duty that we have in this man that's running our military and our government. You know, I'll tell you one thing that would help Joe Biden. You know what that is? I'm telling you, and this is the truth, and I've seen it myself with people that listen to this program. That's hormone replacement pellet therapy with Dr. Mitch Matez at the BioStation. You know, we talk a lot about hormone replacement pellet therapy and what it does to your sex drive, how it reverses menopause in men. It makes you gain more muscle, you have more energy, you get your sex life back, everything. But also, you know, Dr. Matez has patients that are much older than even Joe Biden, well into their 90s, that use hormone replacement pellet therapy. And one of the things it does, it restores cognitive issues that you're having. That's right, it helps with cognitive issues as well. If Joe Biden, this is true, and you guys, when you go and meet with Dr. Mitch Matez, ask his professional medical opinion on this. If Joe Biden began hormone replacement pellet therapy with Dr. Mitch Matez, he'd be with it again. He wouldn't be walking funny. He'd be walking normal, standing up straight. He'd look better. He'd feel better. He'd have energy. He wouldn't sound asleep all the time. and that cognitive decline, he'd be himself again. Give Dr. Mitch Matez a call, no matter where you are, not just here in South Florida. If you're out of town, you call too. Now, make sure you mention you heard about Dr. Mitch Matez and the biostation on the Steve Kane Show, because then you get a free consultation with Dr. Mitch Matez, okay? Everyone else has to pay for it, but if you mention you heard about him on the Steve Kane Show, no charge for that consultation. Here's the number, 561-320-8893. It also helps with memory loss as well. 561-320-8893. One more time, 561-320-8893. That's Dr. Mitch Matez at the biostation.
AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
So you've been told you need a health test.
Wayne, $10 super chat. Thank you. Everyone, please thank Wayne. The State of the Union was your classic list of platitudes and hollow promises, as well as covering the Dems on every issue they are fixing to get their butts kicked on. That is very, very true. We do. We have more people walking around like Biden in Florida than anywhere else. But they don't have to.
Around 3 years. He always has time for me. He never does unnecessary work, and his prices are very affordable. And if you need implants, go see him because he has the best prices around. Let me give you the number, write it down. It's 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633, BrightonDentalCare.com. He's just the best.
Steve Kane radio listeners love Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca.
I went over to Champagne Automotive, and I gotta say that this man is the most fair mechanic I have dealt with in my entire life. We took a car over there that was not being used yet. You know, it belonged to my 90-year-old dad. Everybody I had taken it to before was charging an astronomical amount of money. But when we took it over there, Eddie took a look at it, and I gotta say that this man fixed the car. It's running like a charm. Anybody that needs a mechanic, I strongly recommend Eddie, and he is just the best thing that's happened to this family as far as car maintenance goes. It's fixed. Bottom line, it's fixed, and the price was right.
Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca will never do a repair on your car that your car doesn't need. And their prices are low. Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca. Give them a call. 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWN.
All right, welcome back, everyone. It is 20 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian. This is the Steve Kane Show. Now, I'm sure most of you have heard that Governor Greg Abbott won his primary, defeating Allen West, and Trump-endorsed gubernatorial Texas governor candidate Greg Abbott will be running for re-election. And he's going to be running against Beto. But there's a bigger story out of Texas. Do you know that President Trump, do you know how many, they just had these primaries in Texas. Texas is a big old state. Do you know how many candidates Trump endorsed in Texas? Do you know? 33. 33. Listen to this. This is from Breitbart. Every candidate, that's 33, every candidate endorsed by Donald Trump in Texas Republican primaries have either won or are substantially leading in the races as of 11 p.m. Eastern Time last night, solidifying Trump's kingmaker status in the first primaries of 2022. So not everything has been completely finalized yet because some of them still have some counting going on, but it looks like President Trump has won 33 out of 33 races in Texas just yesterday. Where's that headline? I saw it on Breitbart. That is the only place. I've seen Greg Abbott one, but Breitbart is the only outlet I've seen that has a story pointing that out in the beginning and in the headline. Isn't that something? That's amazing. It's so historic. You know, we've always had former presidents around. They don't really get involved in politics too much. They might be at an event here or there, but they're pretty much retired. And if they do speak, no one cares to listen. People get tired of them. Not Trump. I think he has a world record. This is probably, in Texas alone. Now, again, we got a lot of primaries coming up everywhere, and you know, the chances of President Trump winning every primary everywhere in the country are pretty high of it not happening. It might, but odds are against him winning every primary. Well, while the media aren't telling you that President Trump won 33 out of 33 races in Texas yesterday, if he loses one, that'll be a big story. Trump-backed candidate lost in Texas. Like when all the counting's done in Texas, if it's only 32 wins and one loss, the story will all be about the one loss and not the 32 wins. That's how it's going to be. But that is a very powerful thing. And you know, it's not just a defeat for the Democrats and a win for Trump. It's also a major defeat for the Republican establishment. You know, Alan West was running for governor against Greg Abbott, and he lost. And Alan West is pretty popular. He was the head of the Texas Republican Party. And Steve and I know Alan West. Steve and Alan West had a falling out years ago over something petty, and I'm not going to get into. But it was really a minor thing, and it just caused a lot. And it wasn't really the thing. There was a third person whose name I'm not going to mention that did not like the idea of Steve Kane being friends with Alan West and sabotage that relationship. Some of you will probably be able to figure out who that is, although I'm not going to say their name on the show today because I don't want to get sidetracked on it. But I told you, because we got a lot of listeners in Texas, don't vote for Alan West. Even if you like Alan West a lot and you don't like Greg, you've always got to vote for who President Trump tells you to vote for. And in your own communities, this is very important too. Don't get bogged down on your own personal dislike or like of people in these races. President Trump has a bigger plan here. And winning these primaries, it's about draining the never-Trumper rats, Republican against Trump establishment that we're fighting against. But when he has a 33 for 33 record on one night in Texas, that tells me that he is really working hard vetting people. I think a lot of people think there's a race going on, it's a primary, there's some Republicans there, there's one Republican that likes Trump, and then there's these other Republicans that don't like Trump. One of them may have voted for impeachment, so he's just picking the person that likes him. If that were the case, he wouldn't have 33 out of 33 victories in Texas. Okay? He's doing vetting and maybe even recruitment. I don't know what the process is, but that's a perfect record so far. That's amazing. So when he endorses someone, it's not just, well, this person likes me and the other one voted to impeach me. He's saying he's doing vetting, he's doing research. Vetting something they're not doing. You know, I was talking 2 days ago on the program. No one in the media has picked up on this, but Biden's Supreme Court justice pick wrote a paper at Harvard in that Harvard Law Review that we always hear about. Every time there's a Supreme Court nominee, we hear about something with the Harvard Law Review because they all go there. Obama was even with the Harvard Law Review, so they say. But Biden's Supreme Court pick wrote an opinion piece in the Harvard Law Review saying that the law discriminates and is too tough on sex offenders, which include kitty rapist and rapist. I had that story 2 days ago. Okay? Where has that story been in the press? Have you seen that story? Or that she's related to Paul Ryan? Where are these stories in the press? They're nowhere. They're a big cover-up. And that story about her saying, you know, they had other women they could have picked. This story about her saying that the law was too tough on kitty rapists, pedophiles, and other sex offenders and rapists, that shows me that she was not vetted. They had a list of black liberal women that were Black Lives Matter approved just like her, but they didn't vet like Donald Trump is doing, and that's how that happened. So this victory in Texas is huge. Now last night, you may have heard Joe Biden had a critical race theory person sitting with her as a guest. I wanted to play a clip. You know, I am not opposed to teaching Black history. Black history, Black History Month are all good things. Last month was Black History Month. This month is Women's History Month. I'm not opposed to any of that. You know, I study history, and I find history quite interesting. And Black history is a great thing to be taught and integrated into American history curriculum. Critical race theory is not history. They're trying to pass it as history. It's not. Critical race theory is race reversed. The Fiery Cross is what it is. I mean, you know, the Fiery Cross was the name of the Ku Klux Klan newspaper, you know, well-known Democrat paper, the Fiery Cross. It's this, you know, there was, you've heard these stories, like the Democrat Klansmen opposed the Tuskegee Airmen, and they would have these doctors and scientists talk about these theories about how thoughts didn't travel through a black brain at the same speed as a white, you know, that kind of stuff. That's what critical race theory is. It's just hardcore racism. It has nothing to do with history. It's just hate speech. It's just a hate philosophy, a hate theory. I got a clip here I'm going to play, but last night, Jill Biden had one of these critical race theory people up there as an honored guest of hers up in the balcony during the State of the Union. This clip, I found it online this morning. This is a professor at Berkeley University talking about abolishing, you know, you've heard leftists talk about abolishing the police and abolishing this, abolishing that. This professor is talking about abolishing, and this is their word, you'll hear them, whiteness. Abolishing whiteness. I'm not kidding. You can't make this up. And a student who doesn't agree with this recorded this professor in the classroom on their cell phone and put it online, and it got out. Listen, Berkeley professor discussing abolishing whiteness.
Right? And so that's why I'm coming up with this recent understanding that to abolish whiteness is to abolish white people.
Yeah, see, he says, I'm establishing this theory to abolish whiteness, to abolish white people.
And so that's why I'm coming up with this recent understanding that to abolish whiteness is to abolish white people. And that's very uncomfortable, perhaps, but it asks about our definitions of what race is and what racial justice might mean. Okay? So again, Roediger is asking the same question here about this genuine class unity is not going to happen because within it are these cleavages of racial struggles and gender struggles that prevent class unity from sort of happening and prevents white working class folks from achieving their goal.
Okay, yeah, and whoever that student is who recorded that, that's awesome. Glad they did it. And, you know, we've known that this kind of thing's gone on at the university system, especially the more liberal ones like Berkeley. We've known that this kind of radicalness went on at our university systems, and we accepted it, but they were adults. And what they've done with critical race theory is they've taken what goes on in the university and bring it into the curriculum of pre-K through 12th grade, through the senior year of high school. In college, they're adults, and it's a short period in time, and once they get out of college, most of them will wake up to it. Most of them know better as they're hearing it. That's why this student recorded it. But when they're doing it to kids that are in pre-K through their senior year of high school, they're not developed enough to understand what's going on. And they believe that this is just a reality. But that's what they're talking about. And I don't like to spend too much time talking about it because people get the wrong idea when we do, but this is what's going on in American classrooms, and that type of mindset is what Jill Biden had sitting next to her as an honored guest in the gallery during last night's State of the Union. Someone that's a hardcore racist just like that. Like Tiffany Cross and Joy Reid on MSNBC. All right, we're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. If you're on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, we've had some great calls today. New callers that have had some interesting observations on the State of the Union. Your thoughts on anything you've heard today, including the State of the Union, certainly are welcome. Our number, 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631. 1-888-465-2631. 2631. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 45 years on the radio this year. My name is Brian Craig, back with your calls after this.
Attention seniors and those who care about them. This is Brian Craig. I'm in studio with Debbie from I Will Advisors. She has an incredible new service to tell you about.
Welcome. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe, and everyone please like the video.
How are you helping seniors?
Well, Brian, over the past few years of owning a Medicare insurance agency, we've learned that there's a huge need for Medicare advocacy, that a lot of people don't have a child or a spouse that can assist them with their medical needs, and that's where we step in.
There's a lot of things that seniors need help with. Prescriptions, doctor's appointments, things like this. How do you help them with that?
If you're having a problem at the doctor's office, having problems scheduling an appointment in a timely manner, we can step in. If you're having issues at the pharmacy, having problems refilling a prescription, or feel that you're being mischarged for something, you can contact us and we will step in. Even if you're at the hospital and you feel like you're being neglected, we'll be there for you at a touch of a button, whether it's to call the nurse's station or assist in any other way.
So if someone's in the hospital, they feel they're not getting the care that they need, they haven't seen their doctor, they haven't seen their nurse, they can actually call you and you'll contact the hospital for them?
Absolutely. We act as your family. We'll step up, we'll call the nurse's station and ask for some assistance. If we can't get anything done there, we'll go to the higher levels.
Now, this is a service that you're offering. Now, they do not have to be an existing client of I Will Advisors to take advantage of this, right?
Oh, of course not. No,
Steve Kane Show. Yep, hold on. Steve Kane Show. Hold on.
Opportunity for those of you who are Medicare recipients. Debbie at I Will Advocates will help you with your prescriptions. You'll set up doctor's appointments for them, including the primary care physician and specialist, right?
Of course. We'll assist in anything to help you find new doctors.
They'll help you with your medical billing. They'll help you with your insurance billing. If you feel you've been billed wrong by your doctor, they'll step in for that and even help you if you're in the hospital. Basically, what you're offering is a concierge service to senior citizens.
That's exactly it.
That's amazing. I've never heard of anything like this before. So how much does this cost?
Well, for just $20 a month, you will have the security of knowing that you have an experienced, compassionate advocate just a touch of a button away.
To learn more, call Debbie's office. The number, 954-345-1214. 954-345-1214, or go online. You can sign up online at iwilladvocates.com. That's iwilladvocates.com.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-37.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for help.
Alrighty, we are back. 34 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. By the way, Friendly Tire in Margate. I've been buying tires there for about 15 years. And Friendly Mike, he has the lowest prices on both new and used tires. New tires as low as $70 a tire out the door and on the road. Because remember, Friendly Tire does not charge you to balance the tire, mount the tire, or dispose of your old tire. When you call Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire and he gives you a quote over the phone, that is out the door and on the road. No added charges. I know, it's absolutely amazing. And if you have run flats, you need to call him. You will find the lowest price on run flats that you've ever heard anywhere. He also has all the name brands you love as well: Firestone, Goodyear, Bridgestone. He does tire repairs, which other places do not do. He does tire repairs. And also, he has a great selection of used tires in stock. In fact, he has thousands of used tires in stock, starting at just $30 for most sizes. So give Mike at Friendly Tire a call. He'll give you a quote right over the phone. The number is 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Again, 954-977-9445. Friendly Tire in Margate. Make sure you tell Friendly Mike you heard about him on the Steve Kane Show. All right, now the fake news media, boy, they are really, there's a lot of disinformation coming out of Ukraine. On Tuesday, this article is in the Postmillennial. The Postmillennial.com is a very conservative online news publication out of Canada, and they have all the news from a conservative perspective going on in this country, and it's a great news website, thepostmillennial.com, and that's where I found this story. On Tuesday, that's yesterday, the Democrat Super Political Action Committee was revealed to have tweeted lies about a man who was originally from Texas that has been in Russia fighting alongside Russian forces in Ukraine. Media Touch retweeted a video that shows Russell Texas Bentley III speaking on the front lines of the war between Russia and Ukraine. They falsely labeled him a Republican from Texas. Bentley in the interview said he was there with the denazifiers and liberators of Ukraine with what appears to be Russian soldiers and tanks in the background of a photograph they have of him. Bentley says, "These guys are tough. These guys are ready, and there's plenty of them. So far, Russia has used only about 10% of its military power, and we're getting ready to bring the hammer down. We're going to save and liberate all the good people in Ukraine, and the bad people, boom, kick their A's," Bentley continued. The video was posted to Bentley's YouTube channel on February 28th. Media Touch retweeted the video from independent international correspondent Borzi Daragi, who written, "Just a good old boy apparently embedded with Russian forces in Ukraine," and wrote, "Here's a Republican from Texas fighting alongside the Russians and filming propaganda videos for them. This is treason." Well, some other people in the media did some investigating and found this out. In 2018, the Texas Monthly profiled Bentley for their magazine, highlighting how Bentley was drawn into fighting for the Russians and revealing his communist beliefs. Bentley traveled to Russia in December 2014, a year after they annexed Crimea. Bentley had a number of roles in the United States. He was in the Army, a marijuana legalization activist, a drug trafficker, and in 1992 ran for Congress in Minnesota as a Grassroots nominee. And he is an out-of-the-closet communist. That's why he's in Russia, but they labeled him a Republican. You know, there's a lot of division among Republicans with, I know, isn't this something? Just like that Steven Seagal story, which was fake news. There's a lot of division among Republicans. We were talking about it with Steve yesterday. A lot of Republicans are on the side of Ukraine. A lot are on the side of Russia. I'm Switzerland in this. I think both sides are bad. Both sides are bad. Bad in different ways, but both sides are bad and evil in their own ways. And when you have a job like mine, you're not supposed to be in the middle. You're supposed to have a strong line on it. And both of these countries are bad. We should not have a side in this fight. Okay, let them fight it out amongst themselves. I feel so sorry for the civilians. I mean, civilians are dying, and that's a terrible thing, and I feel very sorry for them. You know, and there's a lot of suffering going on in Ukraine. There's no doubt about it. I don't support that. But there's no side here for us in Ukraine. Neither of the sides are the good guys. They're both bad guys. Two bad guys fighting each other. This is like Iran and Iraq during Saddam. Okay? This would be like Iran fighting Syria. They're both bad guys. There's no good guy here. But the reason there's so much division among conservatives, among MAGA with this, I could be wrong, and I'll ask you guys to let me know on the phones at 1-888-COCAINE-1. A lot of it has to do with conservatives have a complete distrust of everything in the media because the media is fake news and lies. Like this story here, this American liberal communist is labeled a Republican fighting for Russia. He's a Democrat. He's a leftist. He's a communist. Not a Republican, but they're calling him a Republican because it fits their narrative. People distrust everything we hear in the media for very good reason. Okay? And that's why there's division among conservatives. It depends on where that conservative gets their news. A lot of people get it from places online. A lot of people get it from Fox News and other television news outlets. They're still conservative, but they get their news from Fox or somewhere else, and they, you know, so even though they're conservative and they all love Trump, they have a different idea of what's going on in this conflict. I'm just telling you, both sides are bad, and neither should be the side we are on. I'll tell you one thing I found really disturbing yesterday. DirecTV announced that they are dropping that Russia Today TV channel on DirecTV. They say it's a Kremlin-funded, Putin-funded television outlet. That Russian News on DirecTV. Any of you guys have DirecTV? You know that Russian News channel? They're removing it because of the invasion of Ukraine. Well, wait a minute. They left it on before? They're only taking it off DirecTV because of the attack on Ukraine? They took One American News off. They announced it a couple months ago that they were removing One American News. They're telling... I didn't know the Russian News was on DirecTV. I don't have DirecTV. I didn't know this till they announced they're taking it off. But the liberals, the Obama Democrats that run DirecTV think that One American News is bad and Russian News was good until they invaded Ukraine. And the reason that, you know, my wife is the one who came up with this idea, and I thought it was pretty spot on. This backlash against Russia in this country, right? Apple's not doing business with them. There's a bunch of companies are no longer going to do business with Russia. This is the fastest, when there's been an international conflict, an international division, this is the fastest you've seen sanctions come in on a country like this. There have never been sanctions move in so fast by companies like Apple, not going to do business anymore, DirecTV, all these companies, right? Some companies they're not going to, Hollywood isn't releasing movies in Russia, things like this. These aren't sanctions. You know what's going on here? The leftist cancel culture is canceling Putin. So this isn't something that our government's doing totally. Biden, they're too incompetent. The leftists are into this cancel culture, and they've just decided they're going to cancel Putin. Just like they cancel other people from certain things. We've never seen anything quite like this before. And it's different than anything we've seen before. This is the cancel culture at work. And when you see the cancel culture canceling Russia, ask yourself this question. And if you're on hold, stand by, because I got to take a break. We're going to come back with William Youngerman in the Gold Report. I'll try to squeeze a call or two in before the break. But when have you known the cancel culture to be right? They're always wrong. They always jump the gun and are wrong. And this is the cancel culture, not U.S. sanctions, that are hitting Russia right now. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Andrea.
Oh, hey, Andrea. What's up?
So, when I called yesterday and, kind of like put it out there that we might be witnessing a coup, and we very well might. If you look at what's going on TV from that perspective, that you're witnessing a coup, what I should have said to Steve yesterday,
they say they're going to take away and off in April.
They're promulgating a narrative to make whatever it is that they're going to do over there acceptable in public opinion. Now, if you kind of look at what's going on with Ukraine, we installed President Zelensky.
That is true.
What is Ukraine noted for?
Corruption.
Right, corruption. They are now being funneled billions of dollars in aid.
Yeah.
Take that into it.
And by the way, that's part of the corruption. That aid isn't just cash. It's in goods and services that political donors are selling to them. So the corrupt American government, led by Biden, their donors are making a lot of money off this Ukraine issue. By the way, we're funding the Russian side by buying the oil. So we're funding both sides of this war.
So think about that for a second. Think about it. If Biden is threatening Putin, and I'm not saying Putin's an angel because he's definitely not, but if I were Putin, right, this is what I would do. If Biden threatened me, I would shut as fast as head would spin. You know why? Because I already have a nice new friend in China who's going to buy plenty of stuff for me, so I really don't need America.
Yeah, and they'll pour money, and China will pour money into Russia to keep them afloat with that oil that they don't need to bring us down. Yeah, we could see an oil embargo from Russia. Biden threatened Putin directly last night on more than one occasion, and he ended the speech by "go get him," and that he was talking about Putin. So we very well could see the most impactful embargo of oil in this world's history.
But go a step further, right? Take the emotional manipulation out of this, because that's what all of this stuff is. And that's what I urge people to take a step back from when they keep seeing these images on TV, right? It's all emotionally manipulated to gin the public up.
Yeah, now listen, I got to run for a break, so I'll give you the last word. I'm running late.
Okay, think about this for a second. Do you really think that the Russian army is that incompetent? They're not. If this is how I would do it. If I were Putin, I would definitely fail in Ukraine. And then I would pair with China and attack the United States. They're the weakest we have ever been.
Well, I think you're talking about an oil embargo from Russia would collapse Europe quickly. It would hit us hard, but we have enough oil that we could get out of it. It would be tough for a while, and it would cause a lot of economic damage, but Europe would be done. All right, listen, I got to run, Andrea. Thanks for the call. If you're on hold, stand by. Back with William Youngerman in the Gold Report after this.
So you've been told you need a health test. What are you going to have to pay? Health tests
Steve Kane Show.
Expensive. If you go to your doctor's office or one of the big
Hold on.
labs, it can cost you hundreds of dollars. Sometimes I haven't had lab tests because of the cost. Then I discovered Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs' goal is to get you all the lab tests you need, save
Hey there.
money, and get you in and out in 15 minutes or less. At Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs, you never need an appointment, no doctor's order, no prescription either. You can walk right in and have any of their thousands of lab tests done for just a fraction of the price of the big labs or your doctor's office charge. Give them a call, 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Private and affordable lab testing. 954-906-5983.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
All right, and we are back. It's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. Good morning, William Youngerman. How are the metals looking?
Good morning, Brian. Metals are looking very strong yesterday. Gold up $36.60 yesterday, closing out the day at $1,945.30. But silver up 91 cents. Closing out the day at $25.33 the ounce. Platinum was up $14 at $1,053, and palladium was up $95 at $2,514. Oil yesterday hitting crazy numbers of over $106 a barrel, and even higher today. Gold or oil today just under $112 a barrel. That's up $8. I mean, it's literally gone up about 20% this week alone. So the markets are. And the precious metals are, of course, adjusting to that new reality that inflation is here to stay, and maybe runaway inflation pretty soon. And certainly it is in some countries. The market on gold this morning pulled back a little bit right now at $1,933 the ounce. That's down $12.30. One to be expected after a big rally that we've had so far this week. Overnight gold traded from $1,914 an ounce all the way up to just under $1,950 an ounce. Silver right now, $25.20. That's down 13 cents. Platinum up $12 at $1,065, and palladium is up $6 at $2,520 an ounce. It's pretty much where we.
Now, yesterday you were talking about supply shortages in some of the metals. What's the inventory looking like over at William Youngerman's right now?
Well, there's for delivery in 3 and 4 weeks, and some products as much as 3 months out.
Wow! But you've got everything in stock available for immediate delivery, is what you're telling us. You hear that, guys? And that's something good. So you want to give them a call or stop in. Now William Youngerman opens up weekdays at 10. You can find them online at williamyoungerman.com. You can call 800-327-5010. 800-327-5010. And the address, 150 East Palmetto Park Road, right here in Boca, just east of US 1 Federal Highway, on the south side of Palmetto Park Road on the first floor of the Bank of America building. All right, William Youngerman, we will talk tomorrow. All right, take care, take care. So you hear that, guys? Everything's in stock, but you want to take advantage of it while it is. Boy, I tell you, just everything is... Everything, that State of the Union, we've been talking about the State of the Union since 6 o'clock, and, it seems this State of the Union last night has had an impact that I don't think I've ever seen with a State of the Union before. And you know what that is? It's made things worse. Barack Obama said that don't underestimate Joe's ability to F things up. That's what Barack Obama said. Worked closely with him for 8 years, so he knows. And State of the Unions, whenever there's a State of the Union, whoever the president is, the side the president's on, the analysis is great. The side that the president's not on, it was a terrible speech and false promises. But Joe Biden, he may be that unifier. He is unifying people across party lines against him. Because we've taken a lot of calls on this program today with people that really came up with, I think, some really sharp, out-of-the-box analysis on that State of the Union last night. And it seems to me that the consensus... Now, I'll throw this out, and maybe we'll take a call or two, but time is short. But the consensus seems to be that the State of the Union made things worse at every level, has brought us closer to war. What Andrea was talking about before the break, that, Putin was directly threatened on multiple occasions in that State of the Union. It ended by, go get him. He has no idea what's coming, right? They're putting pressure on the billionaires of Russia, costing them boatloads of money, bigger than shiploads, cargo ships of money, to try to get them to remove him from power. And what they're doing is they're taking a guy that has a lot of resources available to him, Vladimir Putin, and forcing him into a position. He's got to react to show that he's strong, to show that he's in power. And I don't agree that the Russian military is losing this war on purpose in Ukraine. I don't think the Russian military is all that. The Russian military has been built up for our entire lives through the Cold War and now this new Cold War that we're in, and they obviously are incompetent. Think about this. Their supply chain has totally collapsed. Food, supplies, weapons, and fuel. No supply chain. They're fighting a country that borders them. This would be like invading Georgia from, or something. And their supply chain has collapsed with a country that borders them. So the Russian military, their missiles may not even fly if they were to launch them. But he does have power with an oil embargo. And he does have a partner with China, we know this. And Biden, that entire State of the Union, has made the situation at every level much, much worse than it was before he walked in. I don't think a State of the Union has ever done that. I really don't. And I've never seen a State of the Union that had such consensus that it was bad, even among Democrats. I played the analysis from Chuck Todd from Meet the Press earlier on the MSNBC last night. They're ripping it. This has never happened before in a State of the Union. The Democrats, the left, are scared about more than losing an election. Joe Biden already lost one war that was won, the war in Afghanistan, the war on terror. And now he's starting another one up a couple months later after he just lost a war that was won. They're scared. And one of the reasons they're scared is not just because he's making things worse all the time. They know what he's really like. Either they themselves or someone that's immediately connected to them see how bad Biden really is in person, up close, closer than we'll ever get, because we just see these little snippets on television. So they know how bad he is, and they know how bad she is, and they're scared. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that Chuck Todd analysis wasn't just like, okay, this guy's bad. That was a bad speech. Chuck Todd looks terrified to me. because they know how far gone Joe Biden is. Listen, Steve Kane's going to be back tomorrow, and of course I'm always here. I'll be here with you tomorrow too at 6 a.m. And everyone that's joined us today and called and participated, thanks so much for your participation during the show. We had some callers today with insight that really was just, I thought, was amazing analysis from our callers since 6 o'clock this morning. Now, I want to take a moment to tell everyone about the Thomas Edison of sleep, the inventor of the MyPillow, Mike Lindell, and the My Slippers. Right now at MyPillow.com, the My Slippers with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, 50% off. I have the MyPillow My Slippers. I have the tan moccasin slippers, and I'll tell you, Mike Lindell says they're guaranteed to be the most comfortable slipper you ever owned, and he is certainly right about that. You know, inside, they have multiple styles for men and women, many different colors, including pink for the ladies, but inside the MyPillow My Slippers is Mike Lindell's exclusive 4-tier cushioning system. They're meant to be worn all day long, by the way, no matter what you're doing, not just inside, but outside as well. Outside, they're made of genuine leather. The next layer is the MyPillow proprietary foam that gives you all-day support. The third layer is the memory foam, which provides the ultimate comfort. Also, after the memory foam comes the patented impact gel that helps prevent fatigue of your feet. That's why your feet don't get sore and worn out when you're wearing them. And of course, the sole are made for all-day use, both indoor and outdoor. The MyPillow My Slippers, 50% off when you use our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879, 1-800-716-4879, promo code KANE at checkout. Also, pet stores are canceling Mike Lindell and no longer carrying the MyPillow pet bed. Can you believe that? Give me a break. They're going to punish people's dogs and cats now because he supports Trump and MAGA. The MyPillow pet beds, I have 2 of these, 50% off with the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. All right, everyone, have a great day. I'll see you bright and early tomorrow. Don't forget to check out our website, SteveKaneShow.com, and I'll be back with you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., and Steve Kane will be back too. Take care. Have a great day. See you then.
Covered AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we ran out of time. I'm sorry. Yeah, well, call tomorrow, and if I answer the phone first, let me know early, and I'll put you to the front of the line. All right, I'm sorry we ran out of time. Yeah, I know. Hey there, I'm sorry we ran out of time, so we can't take any more calls today. All right, take care. All right, hey guys, before you go, make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed. Like the video, everyone. Liking the video helps get this video recommended to others that have not already discovered my channel, and that helps a lot. And click the notification bell. I upload content here all the time, not just in the mornings during the week, but I upload my podcast that I co-host with my wife Kathy here, as well as my weekend live streams that I do from my home studio where I take live calls on that as well. All right, guys, take care. I'll see you soon. All right, thanks.